What is up, party people? My name is Darrel, and today I'm going to be showing you all how to make a website step by step with no experience required. You could be 15 years old, you could be 55 years old, and you could watch this tutorial today and walk away knowing finally how to make a WordPress website. And you don't need to have any sort of experience or knowledge of coding. Everything is done with a drag and drop builder, so you can visually make your website the way you want it to look. In fact, you're gonna have access to over 700 different templates and layouts to help you create the most modern, professional, and beautiful website the way you want it to look. Tell you what, let's take a quick look at the website that we'll be making today in this tutorial. So this is the website we'll be making, and you can see right here that is a modern and a professional looking website. You can simply just drag the images, place them wherever you want them to be, or even just make changes to the text right away, and all the changes you make are live on the website. It's that easy. Now this page builder allows you to do some incredible things like make different animations, different border styles, and you're gonna see that making a website is super easy. And we are using the #1 most popular WordPress theme in the world. This theme has more active installs and downloads than any other theme in the world. It comes with the best drag and drop builder, simple ways to change colors and text, and it also allows you to add really modern style designs for your website. Now, in case you're wondering who I am, my name is Darrel Wilson, and I help teach hundreds of thousands of people create their own websites for themselves or for their businesses. I'm also rated within the top 10 best web design instructors in the world from udemy.com. Now, here's some viewers who have literally watched my videos and created their own website or web design business just by simply watching my videos. So here we have Shante. She's saying, "Thank you, this was amazing. The easiest tutorial for a first time like me to follow. I learned a lot. I'm excited to get started on my new websites." We also have Andrew Rodriguez saying, "Yo, thanks a million, brother. I needed a tutorial on this stuff. Glad this video popped up on my list. I'm building an art website for my friend, and this helped tons. Keep uploading and keep doing your thing, homie." Here we have Comfortable Hotel saying, "One of the most amazing, great tutorials I've ever seen." And also Mona Galupa saying, "Thank you, Darrel, for a truly helpful tutorial, straight to the point and clear." Now today, everyone needs a website because everything is online. So if you're finally ready to learn how to create a professional and beautiful website the right way, today in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can do that step by step. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and get started with this tutorial. All right, let's get this tutorial started. So the first thing you're going to do is purchase our domain and hosting. So for example, yourwebsite.com. After that, we are going to install the #1 content management system called WordPress. After that, we are going to download and install the Divi theme, and then we are going to create our amazing website, and it is going to be beautiful. Now there is a link in the description of this video. It will take you to a page that looks just like this right here. And this is SiteGround.com. Now, SiteGround.com is the fastest and the most reliable hosting. Now, how do I know that? How do I know that they're the best? I actually compared and tested them against 14 different web hosting companies, and they came out first as the fastest, most reliable, and with the best support as well. You can see I compared them against various other companies, and they came out as #1. You know, on my channel, I always have the best. You know, I only want the best of the best because I want to give that value back to my audience. So this is the page we brought to. And right here, you can click on choose plan. And that's me right there saying, hey, you know, I recommend the company. I've obviously recommended them for a long time. They're great. So right here, click on choose plan. And there's 3 plans, but I'm only going to recommend 1. Now, there's the startup, the grow big, and the go geek. Now, I recommend the grow big because with the grow big option, you get unlimited websites hosted rather than just a single website hosted. So that is a pretty big difference. And for, you know, a few dollars a month, it's really not going to make a big difference. So right here, you click on order. All right, and right here, you're gonna go ahead and register your new domain. So obviously you don't have one, so I'll go through the process with you and install a domain. So here I go, I'll do Paddywhack World. See if that one's available. Paddywhack World, that sounds interesting. Paddywhack, that's actually my dog, so Paddywhack World. And it is available, all right. So once you are here, you'll go ahead and enter in your email, your password, your client information. I'm sure you've seen a lot of screens like this where you have to enter in your information. Now, I do want to talk about something down here. So for the period, I recommend doing the 12 months because that will give you kind of enough time. It'll also give you a bigger discount than doing the month to month. So please do the 12 months because you're going to save a lot more in the long run. And also right here for extra services. Now, one thing I really recommend you to do, and trust me, just do this one, is the domain privacy protection. Because if you don't have this, you're going to get all these people that are going to call you and email you because they have access to your information on your domain. Now, if you check that box, they will no longer be allowed to see your information. So it prevents a lot of spam. Trust me, to get it. And also right here, the SiteGround Site Scanner, it's kind of a tongue twister, but I actually do recommend that as well. I mean, for $20 a year for people to monitor your website every single day to make sure it's protected, I think it's worth it, you know? So I actually have that on my website as well. So after you're done filling out all this information, you can put in your social security number and all that stuff. I'm just kidding. No one asked for your social. It's a joke. I'm just kidding. So once you're done with that, you'll click on, well, first, I'm sure you're going to all read this right here, right? And you're all going to read this right here, the privacy policy, right? So yeah, after you do that, you'll click on check and check. Or this is actually for their news, so you don't have to do that. But, you know, if you want to get information from the hosting company, you know, you can check that box. But those are the services I recommend. You don't have to have the SiteGround Site Scanner, but I recommend it. But I really, really recommend the domain privacy protection. So once you fill this out, I will go ahead and fill this out right here as well. And I will meet you on the very next page. Okay, so I went ahead and put in my information. I was brought to a screen that says, hey, your order was processed. Click here. And then I was brought to this page right here. Now, SiteGround's made it very easy for you all to set up your website, and I'm going to show you the easy way, and then I'll also show you another way on how you can do it, just in case you want to do it from scratch or however else you want to do it. But right here, just click on Start a New Website, and they already know WordPress is the most powerful software out there, so click on WordPress. Here, you're going to go ahead and enter in your admin email, your username, and your password as well. Don't worry about this information. We can always change this later, but for right now, we'll go ahead and put in something. So I'll go ahead and put in my email address right here. darrelwilson9988@gmail.com. And you want to make sure that's a correct email, because whenever you go to forgot password, that is where your password is going to go to. And then right here, I'll put in paddywhack99, and then I'll put in my password right here. And right here, I'll click on confirm. All right, that's my little browser thing. And then right here, I'll say, okay, everything looks good. I'll go ahead and click on confirm right here. And they're going to say, okay, you want to go and complete the setup? I'll say, yes, I'll go ahead and complete the setup. And there you go. They are getting WordPress all installed for us right away so we can get started on our website. Now, in case you're wondering about WordPress, WordPress powers more than 1/3 of the internet. So it is the most popular platform for making websites because it's a drag and drop builder. It's very easy to do. And ultimately, I find that it's much easier to do this than to learn custom code, because that's a very old fashioned of making websites. So right here, it's processing our setup, and there we go. So it says your hosting account is ready to use. Proceed to customer area. All right, so this is our dashboard. This is our backend right here. Now, if you ever have a question about something, you can always go ahead and click on support. You can open up a ticket. You can go ahead and give them a call. Everything can be done right here. And also right here for billing, if you ever want to, change your billing or, upgrade or whatever. They also have referral deals. They have additional services you can add, perks. You guys can kind of go through this and check it out. But for right now, we'll just go click on accounts right here. And right here is our website. Now right here, we can click on this website right here. And this is our new website. Congratulations. Now, in order to access this, there's a few different ways. So right here, we can click on -wp-admin. And this will bring us to our login right here. So remember earlier how we made those login credentials? So I'll put those in. And click on login. Oh, I'll do that one more time. All right. So this is the WordPress starter. This is just, all this stuff is just kind of new. But right here, I'm just going to click on exit because we don't really need to use this service because we're going to do our own. So right here, click on exit. And right here, I'll click on don't show this again. And congratulations. So this is our new website. So this is how everything looks right here. Now, if you want to see your website again, go over here and click on visit websites. And this is our website. I know it looks very ugly right now. It doesn't look anything like you saw it earlier. So not to worry, we're going to make it look amazing. Now, there's other things that we can do right here. So again, visit sites, you can check it out right there, or change the theme. You can go ahead and change the theme, but don't do that because we're actually going to install a much, much better theme than what they have right there. Now, also, let's get you a little bit more familiar with this right here. So right here is our domain. And if I click on go to admin panel, it will bring you out over right here to your website. Now, if you ever want to go ahead and change your information, you can go over here to users and go to your profile. Now this is kind of where you can decorate everything. So right here we can kind of, decorate it. I always like midnight. Here you can go ahead and change your nickname. You can change your email address, and also you can change your password as well. So right here, you click on generate password and it'll generate a password for you. But if you like the password that you have, you can just click on cancel, and there you go. That's all set. Now, one thing I also want to do before we begin is change our permalinks, and that's a very important part. So right here under settings, go to permalinks. Now I know this might be a little confusing, but I'll just explain it to you so you kind of understand it. So right here, you can see that our permalinks, which is this stuff right here, you want it to display on a post name. Now the reason why we do this is because when you go to a website, so for example, your About Us page, you want your website dash About Us, right? Not 208.122, all this other stuff. So you want to make sure it's under post name, all right? And then right here, we'll click on Save Changes. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our progress. So we got our domain and hosting. Congratulations, we've done that. We've actually installed WordPress as well. Congratulations. Next, we're going to purchase and install the Divi theme, and then we're going to make our amazing website. Okay, so let me just kind of familiarize with the backend and just kind of explain to everything what they are. So again, this is the dashboard. This is basically where you're going to be working. Now right here, click on dashboard really quick. And what I want to do right here is actually change this dashboard, because this dashboard is actually from SiteGround and I want the default WordPress one. So in order to do that, just scroll down right here, scroll down, just keep scrolling. And right here, click on switch to default dashboard. And this is basically your new WordPress dashboard. So this is what it's going to look like. This is how you're going to make pages, how you're going to make posts, how you're going to do all the cool stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to show you all how you can install WordPress manually, just in case maybe you close your screen or something happened or you refresh and you kind of lost the page. I'll show you how you can install a WordPress on your domain manually. It's really quick, really simple. So right here, click on My Accounts. And as you can see, I have many accounts. So you're just going to go ahead and click on your hosting package. So right here, I'll just select this one right here and click on Manage Account. Of course, you should only have one, so you just click on Manage Account. All right, and right here at the top, you're gonna click on Go to cPanel. All right, so right here is your cPanel, and you'll just click on this right here called Soft Aculus. You can also use WordPress, but this right here I think is a little bit easier, so just click on Soft Aculus. And right here under WordPress, you'll click on Install. Now, all you need to do here is go ahead and find your domain. Now, of course, I have many domains, so you're just gonna go ahead and select the domain that you purchased, and then your domain will pop up right here. So I'll go ahead and select catroute.com. Right here, make sure nothing is there. Okay, please make sure nothing is there, because then it's going to install your WordPress dash whatever you put there, and your permalinks are going to be all weird. So just make sure nothing is there. Your site name and site description, you can go ahead and put your website. So cat website, we make cat stuff. Now, don't worry about this right here, because we can always change this later in the theme customizer. In fact, there's a much faster way to do this, so you don't have to put anything there. Right here, go ahead and put in your user account, your user admin and user password. So here I'll put pattywack888. And also for your admin email, please make sure you put in your email that you have access to, because if you lose your password, if you lose your password and then you go to forgot password, it's going to go to this email. So please make sure that you have the correct email right here under admin email. Choose language. On every tutorial, we always have a debate here. Now they have Chinese simplified, Chinese traditional, and now they have Chinese Hong Kong. I thought it was Mandarin. Some in the comments want to let me know about that. I would love it, but I'm pretty sure it's either Mandarin or Cantonese. Or, yeah, right? I think so. So I'll select English. Now, right here, it says WordPress Starter. I don't really need this. That's SiteGround's personal thing, and I just don't want that. So I'll uncheck that and click on Install. So now it's going to go ahead and install WordPress onto our domain. All right, it says like 4 minutes, but guys, it's literally like 15 seconds. It's really fast. And there you go. Now right here, you'll click on WP-admin, and it'll take you directly to your backend right here. So this is it. This is your backend. So just like we were checking out before, you can click on Visit Site, and there you go. And then, this is just another way on how you can install WordPress. So I just wanted to show you all this alternative way on how you can install WordPress. So let's go ahead now and go back to the tutorial stuff. So here are your options. Like, for example, you have pages. You can go ahead and make pages such as your home, the about, the services. Here you have appearances such as widgets. We'll talk all about these features a little bit later, but I'm just kind of, you can just kind of snoop around and kind of look at stuff. But this is the back end. And right here, if you click on a website, this is the front end, okay? So I'm just kind of giving you a little familiar of the back end and everything. Now, the next thing we're going to do is install the Divi theme. Now, there is a link in the description of this video. It'll take you to a page that looks just like this right here. Now, also, you can get to this page by going to darrelwilson.com/Divi and putting an enter. This is an affiliate link, so if you guys do decide to purchase this, I do get a small commission. Now, I bet you're wondering, you know, Darrel, why are we going to use this theme? What's so good about this theme? Well, this is a #1 drag and drop builder, and it is the most popular theme out there on the internet. In fact, I'll go ahead and show you all. So right here, I'll go to Built With, and this basically lets you know about like themes and everything. It talks about like what's the best, and this is Divi. So this is what we're going to be using, and you can see on this list right here that Divi is way ahead of its competitors because it is so easy to make websites with this theme. In fact, it even just blows all these other themes out of the water. So for example, right here, if I scroll down, you can see that this theme is installed on around over 1 million websites. And the closest theme to that only has 157,000. This is a default theme, so it doesn't really matter because that's like the default installation. But the closest theme is around 157,000, or I'm sorry, Avada, which is 500,000, and Divi just clearly just beats that. And that's because it's so easy to use. It's the #1 theme. So in my tutorials, I always recommend the best. So over here, we'll go to, you can click on Join to download. Now you have 2 plans. So you have the yearly plan and you have the access plan. Now before you want to know about this or you're not sure, everything I recommend in this tutorial has a 30-day money-back guarantee. So the hosting has a 30-day money-back guarantee, and this theme has a 30-day money-back guarantee because I know people might be skeptical, so don't worry about it. You can always get your money back if it doesn't work out, but trust me, this is the #1 theme in the world for a reason. I use it, I have it, I love it, and it's the best. So you get the yearly access, which, you know, you'll pay $89 a year, or you can go ahead and do the lifetime access, which is a one-time fee of around $249, and you also get access to all the really cool plugins. You get access to tons of layouts, tons of tutorials, just so much stuff. Go ahead and pick which one you want. You can do the yearly or the lifetime. I have a lifetime access, and I'll go ahead and show you that I do because, you know, of course, I'm not just those guys who are saying, oh yeah, get this, you know, but right here it says I already have a lifetime membership, and it is the best theme. So right here, you'll click on downloads. Oh, I'm sorry. So once you go over there, you'll you'll sign up today. So you click on sign up today, and then here you'll go ahead and enter in your information. And this is the price right here. And again, you get a 30-day money back because they are so confident that you will love the theme because it's the best. So I don't need to say much there. So once you go ahead and fill all this information out, you'll be brought to this next section right here. I'll go ahead and log in. You know, that's really annoying when people, you see all those websites recommending services and they don't even use the service. They're just like, yeah, go buy it. It's cool. It's a great theme. And they don't use it. It's like, no, man, I really use this theme. It's the best. I've used it for a long time. I love it. So once you're brought to this page right here, you can click on download. And this right here is the theme right here. So right here, you click on download. Now these other things you get the extra theme. It's like a blogging platform, but I think Divi is a little bit better. You also get the Divi Builder, the Bloom plugin, which we'll talk more about the Bloom plugin. And then you also get the Monarch plugin, which, you know, don't worry, we'll talk about plugins and what they are a little bit later. They're just basically apps for your website. So it's really convenient, really easy. So I'm gonna go back over here to my website. I'm gonna go ahead and close these right here. You know, I hope you guys don't mind. I'm just gonna go ahead and close all these right here because I don't like a lot of things open up. And this is the actual, the emails that you guys get. So you go, you know, these are all the stuff. So once you actually purchase the hosting, you'll want to go ahead and verify your information by clicking on that link. So make sure you do that because it's part of the ICANN rules. It's part of like the domain registrar. So the people who issue out domains is part of their, you know, it's part of their terms and conditions. So you just need to click on that and click on verified and you're all set. All right, so let's go back over here. Now I'm gonna go over here to appearance and go to themes. Now how WordPress works is basically you install a certain type of theme for your website. So over here, like under latest, you can see there's various different themes. Now these are basic free themes and they don't really have any builders. They don't really have a lot of features. And quite honestly, you know, a lot of them just aren't nearly as good as Divi. That's why most people use Divi because it's the best. Now to use Divi, you'll click on upload theme right here and click on choose file. And then go ahead and select the actual file that you downloaded. So it should be a zip folder like this, right? So divi.zip, and I'll click on open, and I'll click on install now. All right, so it is installing the Divi theme on our website. Congratulations. So right here, just click on activate. All right, so look at that, beautiful. You can just see it. It's already ready. It's already getting ready. We have this beautiful little notice, and we have the theme right there. Now we can kind of take a look at our website really quickly and just kind of let's visit the website. Let's see what's happened. So you can see the website is a little different now. So you know the website's a little different. You can see that it has like a white background. We have a logo. We have some social icons. But this is just the beginning, man. This is just the beginning, baby. We're gonna have a lot of fun here. Now, what we need to do first is we need to make some pages, right? So we have no pages. So let's go ahead and make some pages. Now, this is very simple, just like you make a home page, right? So go to Add New. I'm gonna go ahead and close this. And right here, just give your page a name. So I'm gonna say home page, right? Home page. And then I'll go over here to page, and then we'll do our About Us page. About Us. All right, just keep going. And you can also view the page, but remember, there's nothing on it. So we haven't done anything. It's just this right here. This is super ugly, you know? So don't worry, we're gonna make it look really cool. Now, you can make a page a certain way. You can go up here and go to plus new and go to page, or you can go to pages and go to add new. It doesn't really matter. It's the same thing. So right here, you see all pages, and these are the pages that we currently have. And, you know, we made the home, the about us. Now we're gonna make the services and the blog and the contact. So services, publish, and then right here, we'll go to page, blog, and then we'll do the contact page. Contact. So that's where they can kind of send you emails if they have questions. I'm sure you love answering people's requests, support requests, saying, hey, this isn't working out. You know, I love support requests. They're fun. They're great. So once you're done with that, you can go over here to visit site. Now you can see right here, our pages are now displayed right there. Now the reason why it's not really looking good is because we need to actually create a menu. So let's go ahead and do that. Now there's two ways you can do it. You can go over here to menus and click on menus, or you can just go ahead and go to your dashboard right here. So appearance and menus as well. So right here, we'll do Patty's menu, Patty menu. It doesn't really matter what you call it because people will not see this. So don't worry about it. It's okay. Now over here in our pages, we'll click on view all and click on the home, the about, the blog, blah, blah, blah. Now the reason why there's two home pages is because WordPress actually makes a default home page. Now the one you want is the actual page. So this custom link, we don't want this. So in order to delete a page, you'll just click on this right here and remove it. Now, how do you want to position these? Well, I want the home page first, right? We've got the home page, and then we want the about us, the services, the blog, and the contact, and we'll make this our primary menu, and then we'll click on save menu. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close this little thing. Now let's go ahead and see how our website looks now. So visit sites, and voila, we got the home, the about, the services, the blog, and the contact. Pretty easy, right? It's pretty simple. Now, one thing that we need to do is we need to set our home page. Now, if I type in my domain right here, you know, Paddywhack World, you can see this shows up, and that's because we need to tell people what our home page is. So when someone visits your website, what page you want them to go to first. So let's go ahead and go do that. Over here, we'll go to our theme customizer. Now, the theme customizer basically kind of customizes the actual theme. It's basically how you can decorate stuff, how you can add certain features in, how you can change the menu, the color of the menu, all sorts of really cool stuff. But we'll come back to this a little later once we actually make our first page. But right here under homepage settings, click on that and say, I want a static page. Now right here, they're saying, okay, what homepage do you want it to select? Well, I'm gonna say, I want my homepage to be the homepage, right? That makes most sense. So right here, I'll click on publish and I'll click on X right here. All right, perfect, congratulations. Now we can go ahead and activate the builder. We need to start building our website, right? Now there's two ways you can do this. So over here, we can click on edit page and we can click on edit with the Divi builder right there. Or a much faster way is right here on the top right here, which says enable visual builder. You can just click on that right there. And this will actually enable the visual builder. All right. Now this is like their little, you know, they have a tour and everything. They're saying, yeah, we can help you with this, help you with that. So right here, I'll just click on start building. And they have three options. So we can build a website from scratch. You can use one of their pre-made layouts, or we can clone an existing page. Now right here, I want to click on build from scratch. I actually have pre-made layouts that I personally designed for you for free in this video. So you're going to get access to some really beautiful layouts. So I'll talk more about that a little bit later once we kind of, you get comfortable with the theme and you understand how to use the page builder. We'll talk about layouts. We'll talk about features that Divi has. But for right now, let's just stick to the basics and just make a basic page. So right here, I'll click on start building. So right here, you can kind of see columns. Now these would be the columns that you use to make your website with. Now in this video, we're gonna be making this same exact website. It's a professional, modern, beautiful website that you're gonna be making for your very first time. And we're gonna make the same exact website with this current theme. And we're gonna go ahead and use this as a guide to kind of help us, understand how the theme works, how to build the websites, and everything else. Now, one thing that I do want you to know is that please watch this tutorial all the way to the end, because what I've found is that people learn a little bit and then they kind of get comfortable, they kind of skip around and they don't know how to do something, and then they come back and they ask me a question. And I love comments, but people should watch the entire tutorial all the way. Now, also there is a link in the description of this video for demo images that will actually, you guys can follow along with these images. Also, I'm going to give you a link to this website right here, which will help you pick different gradient colors depending on what kind of color scheme you like. It's a great website to kind of help you get inspiration and ideas from. And later on, once you're a WordPress master, you can join my website, wpfriends.com, where we talk about all things WordPress. You can see here, it's a big active community. It's a beautiful website. It's basically like the Facebook for WordPress users. So, you can check out that website a little bit later, and you can also get a free layout there a little bit later as well. So this is the website we're going to be making. So let's go ahead and get to it. So the first thing you want to do right here is, you can see right here we have different rows. So this right here is 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, etc. So right here you can click on 3, and then you notice right here you have 3 different columns, right? Now I want to actually use 1, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and then right here I'll click on 1 row. Now in this 1 row we have different elements. So these are all different elements that you can use to help build your website. So they have like a text. They have video sliders, they have images, they have dividers, contact forms, comments, all sorts of really cool modules that you can use. But the one that we want to use is just a basic text. I think the most common one that you're going to use is probably text and images, because a lot of the other ones, they're great and all, but I think that text and images is that's all you need for a website, really. So right here, I'll click on text. And here you can kind of see that we have our text right here. Now, this is the text in the box. And there's various ways you can actually style this. So you can put it over here. You can have it like that. However you want to do it. I kind of like it, I like dragging and dropping it kind of. So it just helps me get a better idea of it. So right here, you can either click on this content right here and change it. So we'll put, you can put something, I don't know what I put right here. We put know your digital media company. Know your digital media company. Now, there's various ways you can do this. You can either use this builder, or you can actually use this right here. So right here, I'll click on center. I'll go ahead and right here and click on this right here and center it. Okay. Now over here, you can kind of see that we have the font right there, and you can actually link this to a specific area. So right here is a link, but most people don't use that. A background, you don't want to really add a background to that because it's a really small area. What I want you to do over here is go to design. Now, if you want to design your text, this is where you're going to do it. So right here, you can see text, and you can kind of see how it hovers over it so we know what it's doing right there. So I'll click on text right here. And this is where you can change the font. You can change all sorts of stuff right here. Now, a big tip of advice is just use 1 to 2 fonts maximum on your website. So in this video, we're going to be talking more about design, because you can see from this website, it's a beautiful website. And the reason why it is because we use specific text and we use specific colors to make sure the website is optimized. You don't want a bunch of colors on a website because it looks tacky. You don't want a bunch of different fonts because then it looks weird. So over here, the font I chose is I think it's Montserrat. I don't know how to pronounce that. Montserrat, right? Montserrat. So that is, you can see how it's changed right there. You can change the actual size of this. Now, these options are on every single module. So once you learn how to do this with one, you know how to do it for all of them. So right here, you can kind of see, I want it semi-bold. I want it, however you want to change it. Here you can kind of change the text of the color, or the color of the text. Here you can have different styles, such as all caps. You can have just the beginning caps, which is very common in web design. I know in English that's an F, but in web design, that's what everybody does. Here you can kind of change the text size of it. And then also, you can also change the letter spacing. So make it look really cool. And then you can change the line height. You can add a text shadow around it, which basically gives it a shadow around it, which looks really nice, right? You can add a text shadow to it. Right here, the text orientation, you can go ahead and change that as well, but we already changed that, the default. Here, text color, you don't need to mess with that because we've already basically, messed with that setting. So we've already, or for header text, I'm sorry, that's for H1 tags. We'll do that in the next section. But right now we're just editing basic. You'll learn more about this in the next section. Over here, sizing, we don't need to mess with that because it's, we don't need to mess with that. It's just basically making it smaller or bigger. We want to make sure to leave it like that. Spacing, we'll talk more about margin and padding a little bit later. It basically just gives space. So like, for example, right here, you want more space on the bottom. Right here, I'll type in something like 500. It just makes 500 pixels of space. So that's what that basically is. And then border, you can also add a border on it. We'll do that in the next section because we don't want to add a border on there. We can also add a box shadow by adding a box shadow, but that doesn't look good at all. And there's a lot of different ways we can use these, and in this tutorial I'll teach you all. Now this is a really cool one, filters, but this is probably the wrong module to teach you this. Once we use images, we'll use more of these and you'll kind of get a better understanding of that. And also animations. You can kind of have these animates to however you want, and they have up to 7 different kinds. So we'll leave it at that one. And then they have different animation settings. So animation, duration, the delay. So if you want a delay on it, you can add seconds. So for example, 1,000, which would be 1 second. But it's too long. And then, you can kind of just, these are just basically self-explanatory, So starting opacity, which is basically saying, do you want this to be fading in? Because if you change that, it'll fade in as well. And then we have the advanced tab, which is probably you'll never use because most people don't know CSS that are watching this. It's just basically added features, but most people don't really know about CSS. So in this video, we're not going to be covering CSS. We can cover that in another video. You won't need it, all right? You won't need it, I promise. Visibility, we'll talk more about that and why you need it a little bit later. And then transitions, we'll talk more about that a little bit later. But for right now, we'll just keep it basic. So right here, I'm saying, what? I want to go ahead and change this text to something like, we'll leave it as that color for now. And right here, we have this right here. So we have welcome to the complete WordPress tutorial for beginners course. So let's do that. Let's make another module and then we'll go ahead and put that in. So I'll go ahead and see, sometimes that happens where the plus gets buried under there. So I'll tell you what we'll do. If that ever happens to you guys, we'll just do it like this. All right, we'll do something like this right here. All right, so I'm gonna show you how we can drag and drop stuff. So right here, click on add a new module. We'll enter in text. All right, now this section right here, I wanna go ahead and drag this. I wanna go ahead and drag this right there. Okay, so that's what I was trying to achieve. Sometimes the builder does that where it gets really too close, and if that ever happens, just make a new section. Sometimes that happens, So right here, I'll type in something like, welcome to the best WordPress tutorial on the internet. And right here, we'll go ahead and center align this. And remember, you can always do that through the actual options as well of the module. So this setting right here will actually take you to the settings. Now, we have other settings right here. So this is duplicate. So if you want to duplicate something, you can just click on that, it'll duplicate it. But I don't want to do that. So right here, I'm gonna click on this trash icon and just delete that. Also right here, we can actually save this to our library so we can use it later. Now we will be using this a little bit later in the video, so we're gonna go ahead and skip this for now. But right here we have welcome to the best WordPress tutorial on the internet. And I'm gonna go ahead and edit this text now. So now what I want you to do is actually highlight all of this, click on this section right here and click on heading 1. Now the reason why we do that is because over here under the design tab, you see how we have text, now we have heading text. Now this section is decorating the heading text. So that's basically why you want to have a text and a heading text as well, so you can kind of distinct different texts from each other. So right here, we'll keep it simple, Montserrat, and we'll go ahead and leave it as a bold right now, and then we'll change this something to we'll leave it as dark because we're going to change these all to white, but that's once we add in the background image. So right here again, you have the same, obviously we have the same letters, so it's pretty self-explanatory. I'll change this to something like 48. And then, you know, you have the same exact settings, guys. So everything's the same. So it's not like, you know, you have to learn anything from scratch. Once you learn one module, they're the same for all of the modules. So I'll just go ahead and close that and then click on check. Now, this looks kind of boring. It looks really white, right? Let's go ahead and upload some images. So right here, this is where you're going to control this section of this right here. And you can actually just drag this stuff like this and just kind of, you know, visually, you know, make it how you want it to look. Now right here, I'll click on this icon. Now remember, this section right here controls the background. So right here we have background, and then we also have link. But remember, you know, you don't really want to make it so someone clicks on the background, it brings them to a link, because that's just really, you know, not necessary. So right here under background, we have different options. We have a straight background color, where you can just add a one background color, or you have gradient. So right here, I'm gonna close this, click on the gradient, and now we have gradient, and you can select different kind of gradient colors to kind of, you know, match what you're gonna do. So, you know, you can mess around with that. But, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and, let's go ahead and close that. So right here, I'm gonna click on close. Now right here is image, and you can also have a video background as well. So right here, I'm click on image, click on add a background image. Now, in those files I sent you all, you can go ahead and upload them right here. So right here, click on select files. And I believe I have my, yeah, they're all right here. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and take all of these right here, and I'm going to go ahead and upload all of these files I have to my server. So right here, I'll click on open. All right, so now it is taking all the images in that folder and it is putting them on this website right here. So we can kind of use these as we go on. And remember, these are free images. These are all copyright images, so you don't have to worry about, like, you know, downloading them from a copyrighted website. You know, all of these right here are they're free, so you can do whatever you want with them. So right here is the image I want, and I'll click on upload an image. Now you can kind of see our website's looking a little better, right? It's looking good. Now there is one thing I do want to add though. You know, over here, we have this beautiful gradient over here. So you can see the image in the background, but I want to add a gradient over it. So let's do that. Over here under the gear icon, I'll click on background, click on gradients, and click on this right here. Now, I actually have certain color codes that I've used. Now, this website right here will actually give you the color code. So all you need to do is just copy this right here, whatever color code you decide to use. If you want to use gradients, go back over here and simply just paste that in right there. And now you can see right there, the gradient is right there. Now, the reason why it's not displaying is because we need to place the gradient above the background image. So if I click on that, now it's going to show. And once we reduce the opacity of it, you can actually see it. So for example, I'll click on this color right here, and this section right here controls the actual power of the color, and this right here controls the actual gradient color. Oh, there we go. That was weird. So right here you can see, now you kind of see how the color now fades out. So now you can kind of see the colors. So that's basically how that's achieved. Now over here, I'm gonna go to my notepad right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab my color codes I used. And you can kind of see the numbers, so rgba, and I'll put these in the description just so you can use these same exact ones as well. Go back over here. For color 1, I want to go ahead and paste my code. And then over here for number 2, let me scroll down. Come on, iMac. Come on, you can do it. Let's see here. There it goes. It decided to work now. I just got this new iMac, so it's a learning curve, you know. It has a personality to it, you know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just it depends on how it feels. So right here, I'll go ahead and paste that there, and there you go. So now we have the you can kind of see I have 82 opacity, and then we have the color codes right there. Again, you can always go ahead and check these color codes out, but I found that this right here is what I want. Now remember, guys, when you're using gradient, you want to be consistent. You can see on my website right here that we kept the gradient consistent. You know, with gradient can be very tricky. You know, it can really be tricky. So you want to make sure that if you do decide to use a gradient color, you need to use that throughout the website. So over here, I'm going to go, first off, let's change these to white right here. I'm sure you know how to do that, right? Design, text, scroll down, text color, right? Right here, design, heading text, and then we'll change this to white right here. Now, one thing that I do want to add, you can see right here, is I have these really cool borders right here. And this is just, you know, it adds style and decor to it. Now, remember how we talked about borders last time and I said I'm going to show you how to do it? Now's the time. Now is the time. So right here we have border. And border will actually allow you to add specific borders over your text. Now what I did to achieve that look is I just added a border right here. You can see this one. I added 2 pixels and I made it white. So now you can see that we have the border there. And I also want to add a border to the left right there. So right here, I'm going to click on white and add a border like that. So you can kind of see now how it's really adding design and decor to our website. Just those little 2 things, you know, it kind of emphasizes the text. So next what we have to do is create a button. And call to action buttons are pretty standard, you know, for most websites. I think most websites have a button because you always want to direct the audience. You always want to tell them where to go, sign up, buy this. That's exactly what you want to do with buttons. So right here, just type in button. All right. Now we have click here, but we can change that. I put let's write something. You know, you want to be creative with it. You know, let's write something. You know, let's do something. You know, be modern. You know, no one says click here anymore. You like those, you know, remember those PayPal scam buttons? You know, you want it to be modern and nice. So right here under link, now this is where you're actually going to use the link. So for example, you know, www.darrelwilson.com. And then right here, you can say, if they click on this button, do you want to open it in a new tab or the same window? I'll put new tab. Now we have design. Now this is basically where you're going to need to kind of add some design to this button because it's pretty ugly by default, right? So right here under design, we have alignments and then we have center. All right, now for the text again, right here, I'm gonna change this to something like light. Now that text color is just, it's a shortcut basically because you can always, you know, change it to any color you want. So it's just a shortcut. Now under button right here, you wanna set custom styles for button. All right, and we can have different colors styles. So right here, you can see we have a color, we can add gradients, or you can add an image to your button. But I kind of want to add a gradient to it. And in fact, I want to use the same gradient colors I've been using. Now that's a very tricky thing to do, to add gradient over gradient, but I'll teach you the skills here, you know? So right here, I'm gonna take my color code and I'll go ahead and paste that to this one right here. Now, you don't have to do this all the time. I'm going to show you a shortcut and a little bit later on something, a feature they have called extend styles, which will basically take this same feature and apply it to different modules. So you don't have to do this all from scratch again. That's the great part about Divi is they have so many tools that you can use to make the process faster. So over here, we'll change this right here. All right. Now we do need to change the direction. You know, I don't like the direction of that. I want to change it to something where it's like 62. And you can actually create really amazing stuff like this. So you can actually make split screens. So right here, you can see we have a split screen. So you can have that on different parts of your website. But, you know, for most people, I think that we'll just leave it basic for now, you know. Right here, you can add gradient above the background image, but we don't need to do that. Here we have the button border color, but I don't really want to add a border here. So I'm going to go ahead and change that to 0. Now we have no border. The border radius, this will actually make it circular. So if you want a circular button, you would just put it to 65, and now you have a circular button. Over here, I have a square button, but if you want to have a circular button, you can go ahead and do that as well. Here we can add letter spacing, just like the other modules, guys. So this is very repetitive, I guess you can say, because all the modules are the same thing. So right here, I want to change it to Montserrat. Okay, that is way too much letter spacing. You know, guys, I'm not on a script, so you know, I just know how to use Divi in and out. So you know, if I'm not the best commentator, you know, don't give me any crap because I'm not on the script. You know, I'm really not. Also for icons, so if they hover over it, do you want to show an icon? You can show like a little checkbox. That looks cool, right? Now, one thing I do want to add is I want to add a box shadow to this. Now, this right here is a text shadow, so it's going to add a little bit of text or shadow over that. But what I want to do is I want to add a box shadow over this. And this is kind of where I emphasize the button. You see how it kind of pops out now? Now it looks great, right? Now there's one little thing you can do here is you can actually add a color to that box shadow. And I want to add a white one. Now you can kind of see, now it looks sharp. Woo! Now it looks great, right? Now it looks like I really want to click it. It's coming out at me, you know, I want to click on it. So now we have our basic landing page. Now all you need to do right here is simply just go ahead and you know, scroll it down to however you want to look. And voila, we have a beautiful landing page. So you can see right here, landing page. and landing page. The only difference right here is that this is a transparent menu, which we'll talk more about once we're done with the page, but ultimately it's the same exact page. It's just you know, a little bit of fonts, a little bit of color, but it's ultimately the same exact thing, just different font sizes and everything else. So congratulations, we made our page. Woo! Get yourself a beer, you know, get yourself a Modelo. Modelo's that's the beer to go to. So right here, I'm gonna click on Exit the Visual Builder, and if I click on this, it's gonna open up a new tab and go to my website, darrelwilson.com. So you can see here, it's my website. You know, go check it out. Go click all the links. Go click all the links and come back. You know, go click all the links. All right. So let's go and keep going. So right here, I'm click on Edit, Enable a Visual Builder. And now I want you to kind of visualize. So right here, this is a text module, a divider, and a text module. So I kind of want to show you, you know, I want you to look at something and know how I did it. So this part actually is a little complicated, but you know, that's why I'm here. We're gonna make sure that you can, you know, make beautiful websites. What is this here? Get this out of here. Delete. Now to make a new section right here, click on plus new and click on regular. And I just want one section right here. And we'll add in a text. And right here, I'll go ahead and put in services. So right here we have services. Now I'm gonna show you how I did that. I bet you're thinking to yourself, that looks beautiful. You know, how did you do that? How did you make it look like that? Because you know, by default, it's really hard to achieve these looks. So right here, I'm gonna go to text. And now we're using the Playfair display. And that gives it that elegant look, you know? And for the color right here, I want to kind of, wants to choose a specific color right here. Change it to black, but we're gonna fade it out a little bit, you know, just make it a little faded, you know, so now it has that faded look. I'm gonna make this a little bigger, and then we'll go ahead and give it some letter spacing, you know, a little bit of letter spacing. Too much. There we go. All right, and once we're done with that, we can click on check. Now we're gonna go ahead and make the next section right here, which is our services. So right here, you know, it always does that. There we go. Text. And this right here is our services. And I will center this right here, design. And then we're gonna go ahead and do the, we'll make this a header text. Design, header text. And then we'll do Montserrat. Okay, and I want this little bold. You know, the thing is with these titles right here is I feel that bold makes these things just really, you know, it's really friendly, you know, I guess you can say. So we have our services, and we want to make this a little bit bigger. We'll change it to something like, 50. Okay. Now we have our services, so right here I'll go ahead and make this a little bigger because we want to kind of make this have that that look of being much bigger. So right here you can see it caps out 150 pixels, or I'm sorry, 100 pixels. Now a good trick to do is if you want to make it bigger, just simply type it in. So now you see how the services, how it got a little bigger there, but I think a better one would probably be 200 pixels. That'll probably be much better. And right here, we can kind of reduce the opacity as well to just make it very faded, you know, something like that right there. That would give it a very, you know, very elegant look right there. So that's how I achieved that specific section. Next, we'll go ahead and do this little divider right here. And then we'll also do this section right here as well. So right here, I'll click on this plus icon and we're gonna add in a divider now. Now the divider really, the main purpose of a divider is to basically give the page space, but we can use this to kind of add design and decor to our specific section. So right here, I wanna go ahead and take this, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go ahead and put that right there. And I wanna go ahead and take this divider right here, and I wanna drag it down. Right there. And right here we have different settings. So I'm gonna go ahead to module setting. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Sometimes the modules get mixed up like that, and just, you know, there's you just gotta find it, you know. So right here, I want the divider to show, and for the design of it, I want to change the color to black. Now for the styles right here, we can have dashed, we have dotted, all these different ones. Now I do use the dashed and the dotted on actually different pages on the contact page. I use dotted, and I know dotted doesn't look the best, but there's, you know, there's always a reason to use certain features depending on the need of the website. So right here we have size, so I'm gonna change this to something like 2, but you can see that the more you have, the more it shows. But I want something like maybe 2 right there. And then the height, I want to reduce the height. So the main purpose of the divider is to add space below it like that. See how it's adding space? But, you know, I don't really want to add too much space. So, oh, my water bottle just cracked. That was weird. And right here, I want to reduce the width. And then right here, we can center it like that. So you can kind of see now how it's getting a little smaller like that as well. And then here over spacing. Now you can even try to push the button a little closer to it. Now this is where we use margin and padding. So you can see how, remember we talked about margin and padding earlier. So margin creates space. So the more space you have, it's going to create space right there. But the less you have, it's going to actually, you can actually do a negative effect where it's actually going to reduce it. And padding is, again, space as well. So if you had, 500 pixels, it's going to make 500 pixels of space in between this right here and this. So padding is just space. Margin is where you want it to start from. So I know they're kind of confusing, but ultimately that's how you would use margin and padding. So we have that there. And over here, I'll click on plus, and we'll click on another text. And I'll just go ahead and click on this, and we're going to go ahead and drag in this down right here. So we'll just drag it to the bottom. We'll drag it to the bottom. Let's see here, take this, put it up. There we go. And then for this right here, I kind of want to, reduce some of the font, and then also we can actually just center this. We can center align this as well. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and go through the options because you guys know how to do this. Now, one thing I want to talk about, that's how you actually save it right there. You click on the X and click on save, is if you ever have trouble looking for modules like that, there's actually a feature right here on the top, on the bottom left right here. It says wireframe view. Now here you can kind of see that we have the text, we have the divider. So right here we have text, text, divider, text. So you ever have problems trying to figure out which, if you're working with really close modules, you can kind of just move them around. And you can do everything from here. You can duplicate it from here. You can work on your whole website from here. You can do everything right from here. Also right here, you can see we have the button. You can move the button around to wherever you want. So this is the wireframe mode. And this is a great feature they added in case you're trying to find different, trying to find the modules. So right here, we'll click on desktop view. Later on, we'll go ahead and optimize our website for a mobile. So these options right here is how it looks like on a tablet. And then this is what it looks like on a phone. Now, of course, this doesn't look good right here. And remember earlier how we talked about visibility, how you can disable something for mobile? We're going to go ahead and do that a little later when we talk about mobile optimization. So I kind of want you guys to stay till the end to make sure you all know how to do that. So next, we're going to go ahead and do this section right here. So this section right here is 3 images, and this is called a call to action module, which we're going to use right now. Also, you've noticed that I added this little design right here on the right, and that's a background image, and we're going to go ahead and do that right now. So right here, click on the plus and click on 3. So right here, we'll type an image. Right here, click on it's a default one, so I'll just click on this one, click on add an image, and simply just go ahead and select one of those dummy images I have. Now this part of the tutorial is going to be a little more complicated. We're going to go kind of in the advanced features and kind of show you what this theme can do, because there's no limit on what you can do with this. So right here, click on plus new module, image, click on this one, and we'll go ahead and select, I think was it this one right here? Yeah, okay. Now, one thing I do want to talk about really quickly is the image filters. Now, the image filters are an amazing thing that has a lot of power. Basically, it's like Photoshop. So right here under filters, you can kind of change the hue of it. You can see how it's changing color. You can change the saturation. You can change the brightness of this image, the contrast. You can actually invert everything to make it look like that, which looks really cool. Or you can, you can blur it out. And Divi has actually had really good examples on how you can use each and every one of these. So I'll be talking more about these in detail when we talk a little bit later about the advanced features. And then right here, again, you can add an image to it as well. But, I don't want to do that. So, and if you ever want to change everything to default, you can just go ahead and go back to, change everything to default once you kind of mess around with this stuff. So right here we have the images. Now below this, I want to add a call to action. So a call to action is basically text with the button. So right here, I'm click on plus, and right here, I'll click on call to action, or it's right here. And this is actually a very common, popular one that most people use. So it has a title text, it has a button text, and then it has the content. Now it doesn't have a button right here because under the link section, you just need to add in, anything right there. And then whatever they click on that, it'll go to this specific link right here. So right here, I put clear design, and then I put, some content right there. So let's go ahead and do that. So right here, I'll click on, let's see, here we go. Let's see how this works. There's another way how now you can access these right here by clicking on these right here, and this will take you directly to the title text right there. So you see I had some trouble there, but that's another shortcut, how you can just click on these, and it'll just take you to the specific module in this section to make it really fast. So right here, we're gonna go ahead and do Monster App. Now the great part about this is that we only have to do this once, and then we're actually gonna duplicate these modules, and we're going to actually put them on the other one. So you only have to do one, and then we can just copy that one and have it for these other ones as well. So I know it's a little work, but it's how it goes. So title text, I want to leave all this to white. For this content, I have a little bit too much content here, so I don't want to really add that much in. For the click here button, we're going to go ahead and go to button right here, enable the style, and then we're going to go ahead and change this a little differently. So you can kind of get the idea. Now I'm going to just check one thing really quickly here. So I think right here we can actually copy the section styles. And I believe we can, no, we can't, not for this module. We'll talk more about the extend styles a little bit later. So right here, design, we have the, the button. We're decorating the button. Darrel, what are you doing? Where are you going? And right here we have our grading colors. And I selected this one. Let's see if I can actually copy this one right here. That'd be kind of cool. No, you can't do that yet. Oh, that's too bad. All right, so I'll go ahead and go back to the my notepad really quick and get those codes. You just want to be consistent, with your design. You don't want to, have different, because that looks really ugly. Gradient with that other gradient, it just, does not look good. So I'm going to go ahead and change this right here. You don't have to do this. I'm just doing this just to kind of show you exactly, how I did this and how, everything. So, you just have a drink, have a beer really quick. Modelo, right? Modelo. And then right here. All right, and then the same thing here. I'm going to change this direction to something like 66. I also want to take out the border because I don't want a border here. In fact, I can even add the same thing right there where we added the shadow. Over here, we'll change this to Montserrat. All right, and then I'll go ahead and change the box shadow right here, and then I want it white. Okay. Now in this image right here, you can see I just used the border radius to kind of, how we used border radius earlier to kind of make it circular. So we can go and do that as well because square buttons are really ugly. So right here I have a square radius right there. Now one thing that we need to do right here is we need to change the background color. The background color is really, really ugly. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and go to our background right here and change this simply to, change this to black right here. And there you go. All right, so you can see now we have the call to action right there, and it looks good. Now again, remember you can always duplicate this. So you can duplicate this and put it right here. And also do that again and duplicate it, put it right there. Now what I was gonna do actually in this video was I was actually gonna make, really creative and do something like this right here, because that looks really cool as well. But, it's just how you wanna style stuff. But I think that looked really nice right there. So I did like that look as well. So over here under this image, we'll click on this and we'll go to design. And I believe it is under spacing. So right here under spacing, I don't want to show any space below that image. You see that? So now the image is gone, or the space is gone, because the space looks really ugly, right? So again, right here, design, spacing, take that out. And right here, we'll go ahead and take out the design and spacing. And there you go. Now we have a beautiful call to action section. It looks great. Of course, the text looks a little different. And right here, you can see that I actually made this white right here. So I just kind of inverse the design because this looks a little too repetitive. You can kind of say it's too repetitive, right? So what I did to achieve that was I actually used a white background here. And under the design section, I changed the text to dark right here. Something that looks like that right there. And then I actually added a box shadow around it right there. So you can see that all these have box shadows as well. So over here, under the design section, we have the box shadow, and I just added a box shadow to these right here to kind of, just take away from it being so flat because it looks a little ugly, right? So now you can kind of see that we have the box shadow. The box shadow, I love it. It looks great. I'm a big box shadow fan. A lot of people, they're kind of against it, but it just looks so nice. Now the button right here needs to be changed to white. So button text color, white. And that's how I achieve that section. Now, one thing I do want to add right here is a background, but just to this little section right here. So in those images I gave you, I'm going to go ahead and click on this gear icon and do background, and I'm going to upload a background image. Now, the one I use right here is this one right here. Now you can kind of see that looks really ugly. It looks pixelated. It looks ugly, right? We're going to go ahead and make this the actual size. Now you see that it's in the middle, but we can't see it. So over here under the background image position, I want to change this to something like the bottom center, or I'm sorry, the top. Well, we could do top right. What's the right one? Center right. There you go. Duh. Okay. So there you go. So now we have this section fully complete. It's very similar to this section right here. Of course, this was changed to black, different text, but ultimately it's the same exact style and structure about it. One thing I did also add is you can also increase the size of this section to make it a little bigger if you choose to do that. So right here under row settings, under design, under the alignment, we can actually change this to make it a little bigger. So right here, sizing, full width, or you can use a custom width, and it's going to actually make it however you want it to look. But right there, you can see it caps out. Now, let's say, for instance, you want to actually delete all of this space right here in between these. You can actually change the gutter width to 1. And then it looks like that. So there's various designs how you can add to this theme. And, I gave you guys the demo, but, some of you might want to do something else. So I'm just kind of giving you all different ideas and examples of what you can do with your websites. All right, next section. We're going to do this section right here. Now this section, it's elegant, it's beautiful. It looks kind of like clashy, sloppy, but it looks really nice at the same time. So let's go ahead and do that. So just by looking at this, I hope you can know what this is. This right here is a call to action. This right here is an image, and it's a 2-column row. So you see that? So right here, if I click on this, a call to action, this is an image. We changed the filter a little bit. That's why it looks like that. And it's a 2-column row. We expanded it all the way to the page, and we made everything bigger. All right, so over here, plus new, we're gonna keep working here, image, and I'll close this right here. Oops, did I close that? There we go. All right, sometimes weird stuff happens in WordPress, I'm telling you. So now we have the image, and then what we can also do here is just duplicate this right here, and simply just drag this right here. That's another way on how we can do this. Well, we need to modify it a little bit because we don't want the background color. Well, I'll let you decide. I'll let you be the person to make that decision. So right here under this gear icon, I want to change this to sizing. I want to make this a full width, and I want to reduce the gutter. Remember how we had no space in between this? I want to do that here now. So right here, use custom gutter widths and change this to 1. Now you can kind of see how there's no space in between it. The image has gotten bigger. It's filled up all of the space as well. And then right here, you can kind of put in some text. So right here, we have signature process made simple. I'll put that in. Signature process made simple. Now I want you to look at this and understand what I did. So what I did is I make the text bigger. I added a little bit of space in between it. And that's about it. I changed the text to black and I took out the background. So it's just inverting everything I've done basically. All right, so over here, we can go ahead and make the design of the title text a little bigger here. We'll go and change this to something like title text. We'll change it to something like 62. And the alignment, we'll put it to the right. So just like that. And then also for this text right here, I'll just go ahead and copy this. And also one thing to notice is that you see how I add it in a black overlay, or I'm sorry, a black shadow instead of a white one to kind of emphasize, because we're not using black color, or we won't be using a black color. So here I'll just go ahead and paste this, and I'll make this to the left right here as well. And also right here for the button as well, we'll change the button alignment to the left as well. Like that. All right. Now, one thing I want to do here is I want to actually, I don't want to add in this black background. You see right here how we don't have this background. So we're going to do something a little different here. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this background here. Actually, I'll leave it for now. Now, a trick to do right here is I want to add color right here, right? But I can't because that's how much the module covers. Now over here under this section, we can click on row settings and we can actually add a color for that specific section. So right here under background, you can see how we have background color 1 and then we have background color 2. So here I want to add a background color of something like gray or something a little bit better than what we have there. So I want to add in like maybe a gray here. A background color 2. I'm gonna go ahead and reduce this a little bit more to make this, just to cut off these images. All right, so we have background color 2. Over here, I'm gonna go ahead and delete this background. Make sure that's all deleted. We're not gonna use a background color there. And now you can see that we have the background color there as well. Now, what I also want to do here is I want to equalize the column rows. I want to make sure that both of these columns are equal. So under the design, I believe it is under sizing, I want to equalize the column rows. So what that does now is that it's basically making the space right here. Now I do have a box shadow there, and I don't know why that's, oh, I did add that. I did that add in, sorry. So box shadow, we have to take that out. That's really ugly. Now this is where we're going to use the margin and padding. This is where we're going to kind of decorate and decide where we want this position at. So right here under the design, we have spacing. Now right here, we can add in 50 margin, maybe a little bit more, maybe 60 margin. Now this is a complicated feature. You know, split screens are always a little complicated. So if you don't understand this, you know, don't feel like it's don't feel like this is like super complicated, but you can kind of understand now why we use margin and padding. And I specifically did this in this tutorial to help you all understand, you know, why and when we would need margin and padding. So now you can kind of see that we have this this background right here, and it looks great, you know. Now, one thing I did here is I actually added this into a slant. Now, we're going to introduce you to something called shape dividers, and you are going to love shape dividers. So I'm gonna go ahead and reduce this all the way, and I'm going to reduce this all the way to kind of close it. And you know, I did add a dark text shadow. So for the button, I added in a black shadow. So right here, I added in a black one right there. So let's go ahead and add in a divider. So right here under the sections, we're gonna do dividers, and you are going to love dividers. So right here we have dividers. See how it says top right there? Section divider. Pick a section. Want to make this clear, right? I want to make this transparent. So the top. All right, so now we have the divider height. Where'd it go? Oh, you know what? I believe we're supposed to take that out. So let me do something really quick here. We're gonna go ahead and change. We're gonna change some settings. Sorry, I messed up a little bit. Background setting. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and delete this one. And we're gonna add in the color right here as well. Sorry. So the background color is gonna go on this section right here. All right, you see that? Sorry about that, guys. I messed up. Sorry, I'm not on a script, guys. Give me a break. Come on, give me a break. You know. All right, so we're gonna add in it like that. Now, right here, under this section right here, we're gonna go to design dividers, and we're gonna just kind of, you know, you can pick a divider right here, whatever one you want right there. So you can kind of see how it's, now you can kind of see how it's kind of like a different slant and everything. And I'm gonna change it to this one right here. Now, I'm actually gonna invert this like that. And you can actually change the divider height. You can make it however you want. So that's another amazing feature. And you can do this on all the pages. So I did it like that. Now I wanna go ahead and do that for the bottom as well. So right here, under the bottom, I'm gonna do the same exact thing. You know, see how beautiful that is? Look at that, it's absolutely gorgeous. Now you can do this different ways. So you can see right here how, you know, there's very different ways on how you can do this. But I just decided to do it like this. I just, you know, you get the point, you know. I'm not gonna follow the exact same step, but what I did here is I just added a call to action. I used the same thing. And that's basically how I achieve that section right there. So that's right there on how you can use shape dividers. And you can use shape dividers on any specific part. So for example, right here, under the design tab, under dividers on the bottom, you can have a divider right here on the bottom as well. And you can actually change the height of it to however you want it to look. And I know you're gonna have a blast with dividers. People, especially beginners, love shape dividers. So that's basically how I achieve that certain section. You can kind of mess around with that and kind of, you know, have fun with that and mess around with that. But let's go ahead and go on to the next section. We're going to do testimonials. And then we're going to do this section right here. And I actually have a free layout for you on my website that you're going to go ahead and upload. So you don't have to make your own footer. This is a custom footer, and I've actually made it for you. So you can just go ahead and, you know, mess around with that as well. So right here, now you can see this section right here is virtually the same thing right here, right? So instead of doing all the hard work all over again, why don't we just save this section and upload it to another part of the website? So right here, I'm gonna click on this little gray, or sorry, teal section, click on Save Row to Library, and this is gonna be our header section. And we're going to save this to the library. All right, now right here, I'm gonna click on this plus, add from library, and now we have this section for the library, and then you can see it's right there. Now what I wanna do here is I wanna actually, you know what we'll do? We'll go ahead and delete this section. We'll make a brand new part, and then you can see right here how it kind of, you know, it's a whole new section. It doesn't extend to the part of the page. And then now right here, we'll go ahead and add in this section right there. And of course, you just have to change the font or the color or the words, you know, testimonials. Now you notice how it's too big right there? We'll probably need to reduce the font size. So it is a little too big for us. So right now we have 200 pixels, and I believe we can kind of change it, but you know, we'll probably do that through the module setting, because sometimes the builder can get glitchy when it does that. So I just choose not to do that. So right here, now you notice how I can't really highlight this section, how it's kind of like, it's kind of hard to get it. This is where we're gonna use this part right here. So right here, I'm gonna go to the text, and we're gonna change this to something like, we'll change this to 150 pixels, okay? Because it's too big for that section, or because testimonial is a longer word. So I changed it, and now we'll go ahead and scroll down, and now you can see how it fits there. And now right here, let's see here, we got it, our services, and then we'll do testimonials. And then we'll just leave this as demo content right here. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to add in these sections right here. And again, we only need to make one section, because with one section, we can add it, we can duplicate it and make various sections, right? So right here, we'll do 3 icons, and then we're going to now use the testimonial one. And there's tons of modules you can use, but you know, it's just a learning curve at this point. You know, all the settings are the same for each module, so you can kind of have fun messing around with them. Now here we'll put Darrel Wilson, and then for a job title, I'll do CEO, and then what on my website, darrelwilson.com. And then here we have some text, etc. Now here under image, this is where you're going to want to add in the portrait. So right here you can see that I have different portraits, and I'll add in this guy right here. He's having a good day. You know, he's having a really good day. And of course you can change all of the settings as well. So for the design, you know, you can change the portrait width and everything else. You can have the text color, quote icon. You can change it to something like black. See how it's now black. So most of these settings are very, I guess you can say, I guess you understand it. So right here I want to add a box shadow, and I want to change the box shadow to black. All right. And I'll just I'll just copy this, put it right here, and I'll go ahead and copy this and do it right here. Now I want to show you a new feature called Extend Styles. This is basically where you're going to copy everything throughout the entire page. So right here, I'll go ahead and do something a little different. You don't have to follow me here. You can just kind of watch and, you know, have a drink. We're drinking Modelo, right? Modelo. So here, I'll just change this to something like, I'll change it to black. Now, what I can do here is I can right click on this and go to Extend Testimonial Styles. Now, what this means is it's going to extend this style onto every single module on the page. So right here, I want to say, I want to extend this style to the entire page, this section, this row, or this column. Now, since we only have testimonials on this 3 on this page, I can just put this page, you know, but let's say, for instance, I had a call to action right here and I wanted to do this page. It's going to change all the call to actions throughout the entire page. So that way you can visually create something really fast. But for this one, I'll just do this section, and then we'll go to extend. Now you can see that it's all changed because it's just copied the style throughout the entire website, or for this section. So that's basically what I did right there. So that's a feature they have called Extend Styles, and it's a great way on how you can speed up the process of making your website. Now I'll change this to something like blah, or there we go. And then I'll do this again. We'll do extend styles, and there we go. And you can see nothing else on the page has changed because it's only affecting the testimonial modules. And I want to add in my little cool little design right there, my background. So right here, background image. And then, wait, is it on the left side now? Yeah, left side right now. Yeah, left side. And then I'll go ahead and make this the actual size. And then I'll put this to the bottom, or no, left. There we go. Now, there's also something that we can add in here called the parallax effect as well. So, center left. The parallax effect, what it'll do is it'll actually make the illusion the image is following with it. Now, this is a bad image to use, so we'll do that a little bit later. But I'm just kind of showing you that if you do like to have the parallax effect, you can have it. In fact, let me see if I can add it to this image right here. I believe we can. I don't know I think it's only for backgrounds. Yeah, we'll have to, yeah, we can't do it. We can add it to this one right here. I'll give you an example. Oh, but the problem with the parallax is that it disables the gradient. So right here, you can see that if I scroll down the page, you can see that the image follows with it, but it does disable gradient because the gradient will not work with it. So that's just too bad. We'll have to say that for another day, another rainy day. All right, so we have this section right here. Now, just by looking at this, I want you to understand what this is. So this is simply just a background. We added the gradient and we added the image, and this is a simple call to action. You'll notice that text and images are pretty much almost the same thing. And what I've done here is you can actually save these as layouts and use them on different parts of your website instead of doing them all over again from scratch, because that can be a total pain in the butt, right? So let's do that right here. I'm gonna click on this, regular, and we have, I'll tell you what, we're gonna go ahead and use another call to action that we already have. Why should we do everything all over again? We already have something that we've already made. So right here, I'm just gonna copy this and take this call to action and drag it all the way down here. All right, and right here, we're gonna go ahead and enter in the background image. I have the picture of this girl right here. And then we can go ahead and we'll add in another one, a gradient overlay. And remember to make sure that this will place above it. And then you would simply just go ahead and paste that in. Now, really quickly, what I want to do here is I believe we can go ahead and copy this section, copy section styles, and I believe we can apply it over here. There we go. Yeah, except it just took the image. That's okay. We'll just change the image. So that is another feature that that's another feature you can add. So the copy style will basically just copy all of the formats, and then you can just kind of it'll just copy it, and you can have fun with that. Merry Christmas. All right, so that's being a little weird. Let's drag it down a little. Now, one thing right here is that we have a white background. So we don't want a white background, but I'll just change this text right here to white before we do that. So right here, light. And we do have a background right here. So we want to go ahead and disable that background color. All right, we want to disable the background color. Don't give me attitude. Here we go. Now, one thing you notice that it has a box shadow around it as well, because up there we had a box shadow. So box shadow, just take it off. And then from here, we can kind of just we can just make the text a little bigger. The title text, we can make it, a little bigger to kind of give it some design and decor and everything else. So at this point, we have actually made the button. It doesn't look similar to this. The only difference is that this is bolded, and this right here is a square button right here. So we can just actually bold this right here. And I feel that bold makes the page, or I'm sorry, makes it more friendlier. It just it's more friendlier. It's more inviting. So that's why I really like bold on call to action buttons as well. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and save this. Now in that file that you downloaded, there's actually a layout for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys my backend right here. Okay. Now, really quickly, that file that you have, it has a free layout for you. So it is the Divi footer.json file. Now, there's two ways you can do this. And I don't know why, but sometimes this doesn't work 100% well with Divi. I wish it did. So right here, I'm gonna save this, make sure it's all correct. And I'm gonna take this and drag it onto the page. And make sure this is not checked, because this will delete everything, so you don't want that checked. And right here, click on Divi Builder Layout. Now, this works for some websites. I don't know why. It might not work for me. It didn't work earlier. And if you get this error, that's quite okay. It happens sometimes. We're gonna go ahead and do it another way. So right here, I'm gonna go to Dashboard. Now right here, we have Divi, and we have the Divi library. Now, right here, I'm gonna click on Import and Export. Import, choose the file, and simply go ahead and select that file. So right here, we have the, it is the divifooter.json. And then import this Divi Builder layout. All right, it is importing. All right, so now we have the footer. So now what we need to do is just simply go ahead and make this bigger. And we'll go ahead and enable the visual builder, and we'll simply just upload that layout on our footer just because I'm a nice guy and I want to give you, easy work. So right here, footer, and there you go. Now we have the footer. Now I want you to look at this and know how I did this. I don't want you just to use the layout and not understand how I did it. So let me go ahead and reduce the padding there. Maybe I should change that up for the thing, So right here we added a text module, a text, just text. Here we have a text, and below that we have the social media following. So right here we have different ones, and of course you can just go kind of duplicate one, go to the settings, and you can kind of mess around with the design. Now all of these are the same thing, so I don't want you to work too hard. I want you to. It's a beautiful. It's a beautiful footer. It looks great. And then here we have the subscription where people can actually sign up to your email address and, mess around with that and have all sorts of fun. But I'm going to cover the Bloom plugin in this a little bit later. Okay, so we're not going to do this just yet because we don't have MailChimp installed, but we will do this a little bit later. They have other various email things. So if you use like ActiveCampaign or Constant Contact, whatever, whenever they sign up, it'll go directly to your list on your email provider. All right. So congratulations, guys. You guys successfully did the first page. I want to go ahead and give a big round of applause to everybody for doing that. That's great. Now, I actually have free layouts for the services and the contact, but we're going to do the blog from scratch. All right. But before we go on to the next page, we need to talk about the theme customizer settings, such as like the menu, such as the footer options down here, and ultimately what the theme can offer. Okay, so in this section, we're going to go and talk about the theme customizer of Divi. So over here, we can go to Dashboard. Now, when you download Divi and you install Divi, you get this little Divi icon. Now, these are all the features that come with Divi. So earlier we talked about the Divi library. We're going to talk about role editor. And this is important if you are running websites and you have clients and they want to mess something up. You can limit what they can do on the website so they don't destroy the website. A lot of people actually do that. But right here, we'll click on theme options. So right here, you have general theme options, such as you want to add a logo. So right here, I'm gonna click on upload. And over here, we have this little logo right here. And I'm just gonna click on set as logo. We have a fixed navigation bar, and we'll talk more about that, what it is. We have a Divi gallery. We have different color palettes. You have grab first post, all these basic options right here. Now, a lot of these, I'll be very honest, you're not really gonna mess with. These right here, you might, if you have a custom footer. So these right here are the icons on the bottom of the page. So right here, you can see that we have these icons. This is what these are referring to right here. Here we have a number of posts displayed on our category page. We'll talk more about this when we talk about the blog. We have a back to top button. So if you want like a back to top button like this right here, that would enable that feature. Smooth scrolling, which is I really recommend to do. You can go ahead and enable smooth scrolling. It'll basically allow the website to smooth scrolly on the website instead of like choppy. So here you can see that we have a smooth scroll effect to it. Here, I'll go ahead and exit the visual builder just to kind of give you, a better example of that. So here you can see how it's smooth scrolly and it's not chopped up. Over here, we have other files, but your options, but you're not going to really mess with any of these. I would leave all these as standard. Over here under the, I'm going to click on save changes because I added the logo. Over here, we have navigation. And this is more for, pages and other options. But quite honestly, you're probably never going to mess with these. So I would go ahead and leave everything here blank. Categories, this is for the blog. General settings, disable top tier drop down menu links. All these settings right here, we're pretty much not going to add because we don't even have scroll to anchor text. Builder, right here you can enable the Divi builder on pages, posts, and also projects. I think you'd always want this enabled. I don't know why there's an option to disable it. Advanced, again, you probably would never do that, except right here you might want to edit the classic editor if you are familiar with Divi already. This is where you would add in the classic editor. Enable the latest Divi builder experience. I gotta be honest, I have no idea what that is. I'm really not sure, to be honest. Layouts, right here you can decide if you want to display the author, the date, the categories, the comments on your blog posts, and when we do the blog you'll understand more about that. Single page layouts, general settings, ads. I don't think you'd ever want to. I don't really run ads on this section. I use it as a widget. We'll talk more about the widgets in a little bit when we talk about the blog. SEO, there's a plugin for this. I really wouldn't mess with it. Integration, I would leave all this standard. This is more for developers. And updates, this is where you're going to enter in your username and your API key. So when you get Divi, you actually have the option to, here I'll go ahead and show you all. I'll go ahead and log in under the accounts. You have your API key. So this is basically where you're going to enter in all that information. So your username and your API key right here, you're gonna go ahead and put that in right there. All right. Now let's go ahead and talk about the theme customizer. So I'm gonna go to visit websites, and up here, we're gonna go to theme customizer. All right, now the theme customizer controls basically your header and your footer section, as well as different other options. So right here under general settings, we have site identity. Now right here, it's like, what do you want your thing to say up here? Now we have a logo right there. So I don't really want to add anything. So this right here doesn't really matter what I put because I already had a logo. Now, if you need a logo, there is a link in the description of this video to a website called Fiverr. And Fiverr is a great website on where you can get logos for very, very cheap. So right here, I'll type in logo design. Let's see if I can skip that. All right. And, you can get logos cheap as $5. There's these guys who charge way too much money, but we can get something that's like $0 to $10, something really cheap, because $50, all that stuff. Yeah. So right here, you guys can get a beautiful logo for as little as $10. I will have a coupon code in the description of this video. I think they offer me a coupon code, so you all get a big discount on your first logo. All right. So be sure to check out that coupon code as well. Over here, we have the site icons. So you see how over here we have these site icons. So if you want to change those, this is where you're going to do it. You can click on select image, and I'll just click wpfriends.com. And then see how over here you can see the icon has changed. So now when they visit my website, they're going to have that logo right there. Layout settings. Now, I don't personally like these options because we have already designed all of these settings right here in the page builder. So I really think that these right here are not necessary, but if you want to enable a box layout, you can enable a box layout to your page. You can also, change the content width of it as well, the gutter width of it as well. You can mess with all these settings, but I personally don't like to use these settings because, again, we've already kind of done that in the page builder, so I don't really think the theme customizer would be any good. Typography, same thing. These are global layouts, or global, I guess you can say, where it's going to go ahead and change the text size, all of this stuff right here, and it's going to apply to everything on your websites. So if you want to go ahead and have that approach, you can do that. So for example, right here, the header text size, it's going to go ahead and change all of the header text sizes on the entire page. But I don't really want to do that because I've already made it to how I want it to look. So I'm just kind of giving you options on how you can design this. But I'm kind of against the theme customizer because we don't really need that because we've already designed all of these right here on the page builder. So, why would we want to do it like this? Because maybe you want a different header text for certain parts, right? Over here, background, you can add a background color, but again, that's the default. We've already have our own background color. So those options are a little not necessary, but the ones that are necessary is the header navigation and the footer. So header navigation. So right here we have our menu, right? But maybe you want to go ahead and change some stuff. So header format, we have different styles. So we have centered. We have center align with logo. So our logo is right there. We have a slide in. which would basically slide in the menu. Or we have a full screen right here where we can go ahead and click on this and it'll be like that right there. Or we also have a vertical navigation, which is trending. And here you can have the menu on the side right there if you choose to have it like that. So you can go ahead and add a vertical navigation. I'll just do centered for now. I'm sorry, I'll do center in line with logo. And I'll click on publish. So now I have it like that. So over here, the primary menu bar. So here we have the options to change the different styles of the menu. So here we can make it full width and we can even hide the logo. Now, when you make it full width right there, that only works for certain options like the default. I'm sorry, the default. So right here, menu bar, make full width. And then right here, we can kind of change the, I believe it is, yeah, I guess it changed the spacing just a little bit, just a little bit there. So it should change a little bit more, but yeah. So yeah, we'll go ahead and change it back there. We'll change it back to centered. All right. The menu height, you can go ahead and change the menu height right there. You can change the logo size. You can make the logo bigger or you can make the logo smaller. You can change the text size of the menu. So you see how the text is getting a little bigger. Letter spacing. So here we can have the letter spacing a little different. And also the font, which, you know, you might want to choose the same one. I think we're using Montserrat, right? Is that correct? Montserrat? Yeah, I just saw it. Montserrat. There it is. Oh, what's that one? Montserrat Alternatives. Huh, that's interesting. And then here we have the text color. We can change this to something like black. We change it to white. We can even bold it. Now, right here we have active link color. So that means whenever they click on a link, what color do you want that link to be? Well, we'll change it to something like black. Or we can change it to white. If you don't want it, you can just change it to transparency. And then it's not going to show that. Or, you know, you can just change it to the same color of the letters. So we can't see anything right now because we want to change the background color. So right here in the background color, you can change it to red, you know, black, or you can have a transparent menu like this right here. You can kind of reduce the transparency. And now we have a full width transparent menu. The drop down menu background color. Now, I didn't show you how to do that, so I'm going to show you how to do that really quickly. So if you want a drop-down menu, we're going to go ahead and go to our menus right here, and I'll explain what a drop-down menu is. So over the menus right here, you're going to go ahead and take this and drop it like that and save it. Now, when I hover over it, it's going to have this drop-down like this, and you can kind of change the background color of the drop-down as well. So that's basically what the what that setting is. So header navigation, where were we? We were at primary navy bar. And then we have the drop-down menu text color and the drop-down menu background color. So maybe change this to something like white. And now you can see it's like that. But we might want to change the text for that because we can't really see it. So maybe black, right? That makes more sense. And then we can change this also to black right here, have a black line. You know, a little bit cleaner, right? Okay. And then right here, secondary menu bar. So this is basically when you scroll down, you know, how you want it to look. So right now you can see how the menu kind of adjusted right there. You see that? Also the fixed navigation settings. So this right here is the fixed menu height. And again, you know, you might want to change this. So when they do scroll down like this right here, you can see how it now adjusts like that. So I added black, you know, just because I think black's good. But that's basically what the fixed navigation settings is. And I'm sorry, the secondary menu bar is when you have a secondary menu. So the secondary menu can actually appear above this one right here. All right, so that's basically the secondary menu bar settings. And then we have header elements. So if you want to add in, you know, various other ones, we can go ahead and do like, you know, we can add in, I believe it's not supposed to be looking like that. It's a little strange. Sometimes, guys, the builder acts a little strange. So I believe it's supposed to go above it. So let me go to the secondary menu bar. And yeah, you know, sometimes it does get a little glitchy. This is supposed to be actually on the top. So if that does happen to you, you know, my apologies. But that's what basically the header elements is. It's supposed to display on the top of there. Unless I did something wrong, you know, unless I changed the setting right there. But generally, I believe it's supposed to display above that page. So if that ever happens to you, just contact Divi and saying, hey, you know, this is acting kind of weird, or this is not, you know, correct. But I believe that is, let's see here, header elements. Yeah, it's supposed to display on the top right there. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's because I have to publish the page and then actually visualize it on the website. I think that might work. Let's just go ahead and try that. Yeah, see, there it goes. You know, I don't know why I did that. So sorry. It's just sometimes in the world of WordPress, guys, just really weird stuff happens, you know? So that's basically the additional bar you can have up there. And then you can always change the settings for that as well under the header elements. With some CSS, you can change the position of it, but you can kind of venture off and kind of join like WP friends and ask people for help, saying, hey, you know, how do I do this with Divi? And you can join our Facebook group, all sorts of really cool stuff. Footer. So we have a footer right here. Now we have a specific footer. So we have different footer options. So we have like a 3-column, a 2-column, and a 4-column row. And right here under widgets, widgets are basically the actual footer. So let me just go ahead and enable some footer widgets. So right here, footer elements. So you can see here, like this right here will change for footer elements. Footer menu, this will change the actual footer text color. All these other settings right here. Once we add some text to it. And then the widgets right here, we want to go ahead and add in some widgets. Let me go ahead and see if we can add in some widgets here. And this right here will take, you know, it takes the credit right here. So all this stuff. All these options right here are for the bottom section. Now let's go ahead and add in some widgets on the footer right here. So we have widgets and we talked about footer area. So footer area 1, we can add a widget. And maybe you want to add something like a text, you know, and here you can add in like about us. And then you can type in something like this, oops. You can type in something like this is all about Divi, or about us, you know, add in some dummy text maybe. So let's see right here. Secret website, guys, secret website. Don't tell anybody, secret website, all right? And I'll just copy some of this right here and then we'll just paste it. Now, I rather do the, I'd rather have this kind of footer right here, because this footer right here, it's very limited and there's not much you can customize. So, you know, I just choose not to really use the default for Divi, because the footer, I mean, let's be honest, this right here looks much cleaner than this right here. But if you choose to use this footer, you know, you can add another widget. You can type in something like a calendar. You could have a calendar, today's date. Or you can enter in footer area 3 and you can have pages maybe. So here's the pages. So this would be an additional footer. So we made this footer. Now, if you don't want this footer, you can delete this footer and use this one as your default. And of course, you can always change the color. You can change the font of this, but I just prefer to use this one because it's more customizable. And, you know, you can kind of mess around with that and have fun. So that's basically the footer section. So again, you know, it just takes time to mess around with, you know, footer elements. Show social icons. You can kind of go with this. You know, I think by now you kind of know what this is. So here we can change it to 3 and then, you know, 1 even, you know, something like that. But I don't really like the footer on Divi because I like their page builder better. So it's just preference at that point, what you want to use. Now buttons, you know, I don't even know why they have these options here. I'll explain to you what they are, but I don't think you're going to want to use them. Buttons will just basically change the colors of your buttons on your site. But we've already done it with the page builder, so I don't really want to do that. Blog section. You can change the blog. Once we talk about blog, you can change the header size and everything else for your blog. And that you might want to do. Mobile styles. So this is what it looks like on a tablet. And you can always change, you know, the section headings. Now this would be necessary. You know, you can change the header text right here on, you know, mobile to make sure that it's kind of mobile optimized. This section right here would probably delete because, or we'll probably hide it for mobile because it's just too big. But generally the site looks beautiful on mobile. You know, we need to make some small adjustments here, like getting rid of this right here. But ultimately the site is pretty much optimized for tablet. And on the mobile view, we can see that, again, we'd probably need to reduce the size of this text, right? Because that's too big. Disable this section. And we'll talk more about that when we talk about mobile optimization. Maybe we can even disable this image right here because it's just not needed. And we'd also want to reduce this size of this text because that's too big. And disable this section, maybe reduce the size of this. And yeah, you know, disable or make that text a little smaller. And again, you know, we'll cover all this when we talk about mobile optimization. We're almost there. You know, I think by now you guys are getting very familiar. Menus, that's the menu. Homepage settings, we did that. and then additional CSS as well. Okay. So that's basically a quick rundown of the theme customizer. It does give you a little bit more options as far as your footer and your header. So now let's go ahead and go on to the next section where we're going to go ahead and create the About Us page. Ooh, translate this page, huh? No. So we're going to go ahead and make this same, we're going to go ahead and make this one right here. And this is the last, basically the last section of the page builder, because then we're going to go on, I'm going to give you a layout for the services, the contact, and then we're going to talk about the, blog. Now, one thing that I do want to note is that by looking at this, I hope you all know how to do some of this. See, remember, we already have all this stuff done. So we already have all this stuff done. We have, we're going to make this section right here, which will show you how to do. So let's go ahead and get started. So over here, I'm going to click on Enable Visual Builder, and let's go ahead and make the About Us page. So right here, built from scratch. Now, I want to make that one section we have up there. So right here, I'm going to do About Us. And we're going to go ahead and center this, align center. And I want to change this to something like, Montserrat. Right, Montserrat, it's a good one. And we'll make this ultra bold. And we'll make it bigger like this, About Us. Now right here, we just need to go ahead and add in a background. So we have a background image. And we'll select these guys right here. They're all having a good time, you know. They're having a good time. They look busy, and they look motivated, you know. So we have, this is actually the guy who made the Divi theme. This guy right here. His name's Nick. He's a nice guy. And then this guy right here is a designer. This is their operations manager, and this is their designer team. All right. So we made that section. Now I want to go ahead and add in that gradient color that we have right there. So going back over here, or actually, you know what we can do here to kind of simplify stuff and make it faster? We can add a new section. Add from library, and we'll add in our footer. Now we also have that other section that we made, that the secondary section. So we'll go ahead and add this from library. Oh, not that one. We have another section here. We have another section, regular. And this section right here, I believe it's this section right here. Oh, we know what? We forgot to save it. So let's go ahead and save this section really quick. And I want to go ahead and save the other part so we can use that on our other side of the website. So click on the home. And I want to save this section right here because I want to use that on my other part of the website. So what I'm trying to say here is that you can kind of take sections and kind of mix and match. Now that menu is way too big. We probably need to adjust that. So right here, I'm going to click on this and go to call to action section. Save this to the library. Click on this, and we'll click on save. Now, these other options over here really quickly, like this right here is history. So if you ever want to go back to something, you can go over here to your history. This right here is a setting, so like your page settings, design, but you can always change this when you make the page. It's just another way to do it. And then this right here is adding in pre-made layouts, which we'll talk about in just a little bit in the next section. We're almost there. So I made this section, but really quickly, I want to go ahead and make that menu, the secondary menu, a little bit smaller. So header navigation, fixed navigation settings, and I want to change the menu height. Yeah, it's something a little bit smaller. You know, something. Yeah, there we go. There we go. A little bit smaller because that was way too big. All right, and let's keep going. The About Us page. So right here, I'm enable the visual builder, and I want to add in that other section. So this will actually cut down our work, you know, so we don't have to do so much. So over here, I'm gonna go to add from library. No, this section right here, add from library, the blue section, call to action, and there you go. So now we already have this section done. We have this section done. We have our title right here, which we're gonna use on, we can use on you know, the other part of our, on this website. But right here, I'm gonna click on this gear icon, go to design, and same thing, background. Let's see what we can do here. I want to go ahead and copy this section styles, and I want to go ahead and paste. Let's see right here. We can go ahead and do this right here. Copy section styles, and then paste section styles. There we go. And then here we can just change the image. So that really makes it a lot faster. You can see that we can, you know, do everything a little bit quicker than we normally could, right? So here under the About Us, I just want to change this to something like white because, you know, it's better, looks better like that. And I even added a drop shadow to it, and that kind of gives it that look right there. So that's how we achieved this look right here. And then right here, now I hope you know what this is right here. So this right here is simply a call to action and an image, right? So right here, new section, we can delete this section right here. I'll close this, we'll delete this section. We don't need this section. So right here we have an image. And then we'll just add in the WP Friends one right here. And right here we can add in a call to action. Now, I made the mistake. We actually made a call to action already. So we can just go ahead and add that from the library, right? Let's see, we can save this right here. Now I should have saved that other module, right? Because we already made the other module. I don't want to work again. You know, I'm lazy. I'm really lazy. We can just take this right here and slap it on the other part of the website. So I'm a lazy guy. You know, we're gonna save this module right here. This is the new call to action. See how amazing that is? How we can just kind of save stuff. I'll save it and then we'll just put it on different parts of the website because, you know, we're already using it. You know, why would we want to do everything all over again? So right here, I'll go ahead and add this in. Call to action. And I think we need to change this to something like, I think we'll change this to black. And then right here, we'll also change this section right here to the title or the text to black or dark. Now, the reason why it looks like this is because remember, we added margin and padding to this earlier. So under the spacing section, we need to just take this off right here. And for some weird reason, you can see that turns blue. I don't know why. It's just a mystery. It's unsolved mysteries, the Divi theme, you know? So we changed the button right here to white, right? And there you go. We have a beautiful section right here that we can use. And remember, you can mess with these settings, guys. So over here under the design, you can change the spacing of, the alignments. No, wait, the spacing. No, it's sizing. The sizing to bigger. And, you know, maybe just mess around. You can make it a full, you know, whatever you want to do. You know, you're the boss now. Now you're the boss. Now you know what to do, right? So now you can kind of teach me on what to do, you know, your styles. And this section right here, we're going to go ahead and add in 3 blurbs. Now we haven't used blurb icons yet. So right here is a blurb. And this is basically something where we can add in an image and then some other text to it. So right here, I'll put better designs. And then, you know, we'll minimize that. For image and icon, we'll delete that and we'll use an icon instead. And we'll just use like a check mark, you know. And here you can add a link. So if you want to link that to somewhere, you can do that. For the design, image icon, I can change this to dark. And I want a circle icon. So, actually, I don't know about that. I don't know about the circle icon. And we'll move this to the left right here. So there you go. Now we have that specific section. And here you can see I just changed the icon to white. So icon color black, circle color black, icon white. And we can also change the size of this as well. So we can make this a little bigger, right? And of course, guys, you know, I'm lazy, so we're going to go ahead and duplicate this and we're going to put it right there. And now we have a beautiful section that we made for the About Us section. Of course, it needs some tweaks in design. You know, this text right here doesn't look that great. We can even, you know what this is missing? It's missing a simple background. So right here under section settings, background, we'll choose the background image and we'll choose that same one that we used before. You know, you want to kind of be consistent with your design. And then we'll go ahead and use this as the actual size and put this one to the bottom center. No. Center right. There we go, center right. You see how just that little piece right there, it takes away from the white, because when you have too much white, it's distracting. It's annoying, it's ugly. So just by adding a little bit of design, you can really just, you know, you can do a lot. Like for example, right here, I'll just add a box shadow to this. I'm sorry, a box shadow to the actual text. You know, just by adding just that little stuff right there, we've already kind of taken away from the white, you know, and we kind of, you know, taken it away, and you know, it looks better. So you can see just by messing around with these settings, you can kind of really just, you know, there you go. Like now it looks way better than before, just because we added this little image and we added this little drop shadow. I love drop shadows. I think they look great. Now right here we have bar counters. So right here, we'll click on plus, regular. Now I want you to tell me what we did here. I mean, I want you to tell me what we did. So look at this and say, what is this? Well, obviously this is a 2-column row, 1 column, 2 columns. This right here is a header text and a regular text, but I did a trick right here. I added in a call to action. So over here, I'm going to do 2 sections, call to action. So I added in a call to action and I added in some bar counters. Now right here, we can duplicate the bar counters, and you know, you can go to design. You can design the bar counter color, make it black. You can change the title right here. You can add a drop shadow to it. Very same options, everyone. It's the very same options. It's not too difficult. They're all the same options. So I'm not going to go too much into it. And then right here, what I did was I just put in something like a social media website agency. And then right here, I just put some text. Now, the only thing I didn't do here was I didn't add the link. So we don't have to use the link. Now, what I'm trying to get at here is you don't have to use the purpose of what they're for. As long as as long as it achieves your purpose, that's all that really matters. So right here, you can see that I just didn't add a background to it. But I did add in some, we added some different structure for the text. And then here, we'll just make it align to the left and also align to the left. And then, we can change the title right here, the title text, to also align to the left as well. Then we can make it bigger as well. And then we would just delete the background because we don't need the background. Oop. Now we can't see it, of course, so let's go ahead and add in a background image, just like we did before. In fact, no. I want to take this right here, and I want to, wait, there we go. I want to copy this section styles, and I want to go ahead and paste the section styles there. There you go. Very amazing. Look at that. I love Divi. It's great. Now, right here, obviously, you want to change this text to white. So over here, you'd go to gear icon. Design, and go to the title text and change this to white, right? And then we can go ahead and delete these ones and duplicate those, right? And what I did right here also is what I added the shape divider. So what we can do here is also add in the shape divider. So for the background, design dividers for the top, we can go ahead and do this right here for the bottom as well. Let's see here. So for the top and for the bottom, let's see here. There we go. Something like that. You can see how now we're adding design and decor to it. And, we need to make some space. So it's like just simply drag in some space. And there you go. Now you have a stylish section right there, So very stylish, very beautiful, amazing, and it's very simple to do this stuff. And this stuff looks very advanced, this section right here looked like it was pretty hard to achieve, but it really wasn't, it's just the shape dividers and, this right here is just bold. Now remember, that's a very big thing to do. I think you should always make these titles bold because they just come off very friendly, like that. Like now it looks complete just because you changed that, in fact, people really buy stuff on your website or visit your website just based off text font, image, and color. The brain is a delicate thing and you have to kind of manipulate it to get what you want. And right here you can see that just by changing this, it looks more comfortable, right? Now over here we have meet the team and we have our people right here. Now right here, let's go ahead and add this in. So right here, add from library. We have the call to action section. Wait, is that it? Call to action setting? No. We'll do the, let's see here. Which section do we do here? That's the same section. I believe it is this section right here, header section. There we go. But this section right here, we don't want to kind of combine it. So we want to take this. We want to take this one out of this one. So what we can do here is probably drag this down. Actually, I think we'd probably need to. The reason why it's combining is because they're both in the blue. So what we can do here is probably just duplicate this right here. And then maybe we would want to, let's see what we can do here. I got an idea. We'll make a new section. There we go. And then we'll add it in there. And then we'll go ahead and add in this section, header section. There we go. Just like that. See, there's always a way to do something. You just have to kind of mess around with it and kind of think about what to do. Now, right here, we have 3 different profile modules. So right here, click on this. We want 3 columns, right? And then we'll go ahead and find the profile modules. Now, guys, in this video, I can't go through every single module because there's so many. But, you'll get the idea and points. So right here, we have, change your name to Darrel Wilson or whatever you want to change. And then right here, CEO. And then we'll add in just some little you know, just some little icons right here. And then that's the description. Now right here for the design, of course, we can change the icons to black. And what I did right here was I just decided to put in an image. So right here, we'll put in this guy right here. And for the text and everything, let's see right here, this text, we want to go ahead and center align it. That's really all I did. I center aligned it, I made it dark. This one right here, click on this, center align. And then all we need to do now is just add a drop shadow to it to kind of take away from the whiteness. So we'll go ahead and go to box shadow, and there you go. We have something very similar to what we did right here. We just changed the font. Of course, you know, we changed it to Montserrat and made it bold. And then we can just kind of duplicate this twice and then just simply drag and drop it. Drag and drop it like this. And there you go. And we can also add in the little, like maybe we can add in this little thing over here to kind of, you know, take away from the whiteness. But, you know, I think that's fine. You know, right here, you would just change the image of the person. Of course, it looks kind of weird. But I actually gave you all, I gave you guys the people right there. So now you can kind of see it looks a little bit better. And we'll add in this one right here like that. All right, perfect. So now you can see that we have the models there. Everything looks great. It's the same way to style it. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on this right here and click on save. All right, so we made the About Us page. Now I'm actually gonna give you the services page. So on the services page right here, I want to go see if we can actually drag and drop this thing again. Let's see if this works. So we're gonna go ahead and build it from scratch. And we're gonna go to your file that you actually got, and you can actually drop the file and it should load on the page. Services, import. See, is it gonna work now? Now it works. See that? Now it works. What just happened there? What just happened? See, now the services works. And I made the services page just for you guys. Now, you guys can kind of go through this and kind of look at what I did. And what I really did here was I took part of the templates from Divi and I added them in here. So in this next section, I'm going to talk to you about templates and also different other sections. But we just got the services page. You have a services page fully complete. Now go to your contact us page. I don't know why it does this. It's saying translate. It's something here. Oh, maybe this. I don't know. I really don't know why it's telling me to translate. It's in English, you know? So right here, built from scratch. And I have the contact page for you. Just drag and drop it and export the layout. Let's see if this works. I'm sorry, import the layout. All right, awesome. There we go. We have the contact section now. Now you have a full contact section right here ready to go. Now, I will be having a full tutorial on this contact form because the contact form is very, very dynamic. There's a lot you can do with it. So I felt that putting it all in this tutorial would have been too much because let's be honest, you're probably binge watching this and you're probably, you know, you're looking at other things, you're getting distracted. So I realized that, you know, we'd probably want to save this for another part of the video because they have conditional logic and we can go ahead and talk about like, you know, relation equals to and all this stuff. So I will be making a separate tutorial for it, but for most people, for the email, you just want to go ahead and put in your email right there. So I'm gonna put in my email right here. And also for redirect, so if they fill out this contact form, do you want to take them to another URL? That's what that means right there. And I think that's basically it. Everything else is just gonna style it. You know, same thing, same exact features. So I'm gonna click on check and click on save. All right, so now you have a full contact form all ready to go. Perfect. Now let's talk about the blog. So for the blog section, here, let's click on translate. Let's see what it did. All right, I don't know what it did. It's a mystery. All right, so for the blog section, it's really simple actually. Over here, we're just going to actually use. We're gonna go ahead and use the. We're gonna go ahead and use our title, but you know what? I didn't save that. So really quickly. Let's go ahead and go to another page. Here, let's get out of here. Let's go back to our website. And what I want to do here is I want to take this section right here and apply it to our blog because we've already made the header for the website. So I want to keep it consistent. So right here, I'm going to put header for website. And I'm going to use this for the blog section. Okay, and save that. Go back to our blog. Enable the visual builder. So ultimately, guys, we're pretty much done with the actual website. So here under the add from library, we'll put header for section. I'm sorry, no. Over here, the blue one. Header for website, there we go. Now over here, we're gonna click on plus, and we're gonna add in the blog module now. So right here is the blog module. And the blog module will basically display all of your posts that you have here. So we don't have any posts yet. So let's go ahead and add in a post really quickly. I'll just show you how to, make a post. And this footer is really bothering me. Do you guys mind if I delete it? I think it's really, really ugly. Also for your blog page, don't forget to add in your footer. So that would be your footer, not this right here. Okay, so make sure to add in your footer as well. So over here, go to plus new and go to post. Now this is if you want to blog, and blogging is a great way on how you can add design and decor to your website. Now there's two ways you can blog. You can actually use the default editor, or you can even use the Divi builder. So over here, we can put in like, what makes woman crazy? And I wanna use the default editor. And then simply just go ahead and put some dummy text in there. So right here, I'll just put in some dummy text. Now over here under the document section, we have featured image. And this is pretty much one of the only sections you're gonna use. So set a featured image. And what drives a woman crazy? What would be a good image for that? We don't have one. We'll put these guys working. Maybe guys working too much makes women crazy, Well, that's a good one, And right here, click on view the post. And this is your new post right here. So we have what makes women crazy, and then you have the post. And then you can leave a comment. This is great. And we can submit the comments. And there you go. We have the comment. Now on the blog section right here, you can see that we have the post there. So now the posts automatically appear here. However, I do recommend using a different style called I think it's the masonry grid. So over here under the gear icon, we'll change this to, for the design, the layout, we want to do a grid. I prefer grid better. I just think it's cleaner. And again, here you can change the text of it. You can do all that settings right here. I'm not going to really go too much into this because it's the same settings, guys. It's the same exact stuff, Show author, show date, show categories. If you don't want the date to show, just take off the dates and the date will disappear. All right. So we made a blog post and that's it. I mean, that's how easy it is to make a blog. But right here, we'd probably put our blog, right? Our blog. Save this. Now we can also use the Divi builder to make a post. Now, Divi does actually have Divi blog layouts, and they're really nice. So I'll probably include those in the description as well. So we'll put Divi blog layout. And instead of using the default editor, we can actually use the Divi builder to design our, our blog post as well. So right here, I'll do build from scratch. Actually, we probably can add a layout there instead. But here you can kind of add in, whatever content you want to add with the Divi builder. So for example, right here, we have, we've saved various sections here. So we can just add in, whatever section we want. And then, we can publish it. And instead of using the default editor, we can now use Divi on our blog page. Now, one thing that you might want to do here, you might want to make this full width. So I believe it is over here on the right side where we have the page layouts. We'll just do a full section and then update it. So now we go back to our post. The sidebar is now gone, and then we can actually make whatever post we want right here as well. So that's basically a good way on how you can, use the Divi builder. And Divi actually has really, really good ones. So right here we'll do Divi blog layouts, and then layouts. So let me just give you a good example. Let's see, 11 websites, blog layout. We'll do layout pack. There we go. Here we go. So they've actually made really nice ones. Let's see right here. You can kind of, let's see here. Like this right here. Oh, they only have one you can see. I'm sure there's more. There we go. So this one right here, you can see how they've designed the blog post with the Divi builder. It looks beautiful, and you can go ahead and go to this page right here. You can download these layouts and just upload them to your website. All right, so that's pretty much it for the blog section. Now in this next section, we're going to talk about the different models that we didn't use, and then we'll talk about the advanced features, mobile optimization, and then you can get another beer because we'll all be done. So let's go ahead and go on to the next section. All right, guys, in this section, we're going to talk about the different styles of modules that you can use with the Divi Builder. After that, we're going to be talking about mobile optimization and then the advanced features of Divi along with the templates that you get with Divi as well. So right here, I'm going to click on page and make a new page. Now, you don't have to follow me here. You can just kind of kick back. What were we drinking? Modelo. We just get your favorite beer, page demo, and just kind of kick back and watch me, watch what I do. And I'm just going to kind of show you different features about what you can do with the Divi Builder. So right here, we have use the Divi Builder. And I'll go to build from scratch. Now, right here, I'm gonna click on close and click on the blue icon. Now, on the blue icon right here, you notice that we have regular, we have specialty, and we have full width. Now, first, the full width modules are basically modules that you can use for the entire page. So they cover the full width section. So right here, you can kind of see that it's a full width section. So the reason why I kind of don't like these modules sometimes is because it's very hard to kind of position the text however you want it to be. It's also hard to kind of position things to where you want them to go. So I don't use the full width modules too much, but they're also, it's a great way on how you can, style it. So in order to get this to go to full width or to full page, actually, I don't think they have that one. So over here, we'll go to full width. And I believe it is they have a full width image as well right here. It'll cover the entire full width of the page. And then you can just kind of, change the image whatever you want, and then it'll just cover the entire page of the, I was messing around with this earlier, so that's why you see different images. But for example, we'll add in this one right here. And now you can kind of see it's just an image that's full width. So that's basically what the full width modules do. And you can kind of go through these like that. Also have a slider. And, the slider, you can kind of see how it, you can slide it like this. But again, I don't really like the full sliders too much because I feel that, well, first off, I think sliders are kind of becoming outdated. I don't think many websites use sliders anymore. But to change the position of everything, it's a little hard because, like, even for the alignment right here, it's just hard to kind of, I guess you can say, position this where you want it to go. So you can go ahead and mess around with the full width settings, see if those work for you. I'm sure it works out for some people. I know a lot of websites out there use it. So that's basically an overview of the full width modules. Again, right here we have a full width menu. Now that one I would probably use more because that right here you can kind of position to different parts of the website. And, the sky's the limit. Whatever you can think of to do, you can do it with Divi. It's just, there's just no limitations on what you can do with Divi. So over here, again, I'll do full width. And, we have a full width header. And here you can have a full width header. I believe right here you can change the position of it as well. I believe you can change the position of it. Let's see, image, the bottom. You can add an image to it right here. We can add in a quick little image right here. I'll go and add in something like, we'll add in this right here. So it displays above it. And then for the image, we can kind of put it to the other side on the bottom. I believe that's how it works. But again, it's up to you if you want to use the full width modules. I just chose not to cover it because a lot of the times they're just, I just feel that they're not really needed too much. Oh, header image. Is that where it is? Header image. So they are interesting modules that you can kind of go with. They work for some people. So that's one thing to look at. That's what basically full width modules are. Now let's go ahead and talk about the specialty modules. So I'm going to close this really quickly. And over here, we have specialty modules. Now, these modules are really useful. So you can see right here how they have different styles. So unlike the basic ones that we are using, here these have different total styles. Like, so for example, right here, you can add in a sidebar to the left side of the page. So for example, right here, I want to add in a sidebar. So right here, we can type in sidebar. And then your sidebar will appear right there. And then here, you can kind of say, I want 3 columns right here. And then you can add in something like a circle counter. You can add in, a blurb. And then also right here, you can add something else. So there's just different ways and styles on how you can actually, how you can actually position your page differently. And you can see it's orange, so it is a little different. And so right here, again, specialty modules. I'm sure by now you guys understand what these are. They're just different ways on how you can style the page. And there's, I've used these before. There's very specific ways on how you can use these. It's just for the average user, you might not want to use them too much, but I have built websites before where I actually did use these right there. So they do have some use for them. And, a lot of people actually like the specialty modules because of the functionality that you get with Divi. So you're not limited to just a column row. You can have one that's really big, one small, one really big, one really small, etc. So that's a quick little rundown of the modules that we didn't use, and you can kind of go through the actual modules, like the ones like these ones right here. You know, you can kind of go through these and just check them out. You know, they're all pretty self-explanatory. I think there's a total of 30-something modules. So there's also a slider in there as well. There's pricing tables, all sorts of really cool stuff. So that is basically a quick rundown of the models that we didn't use and how you can utilize them. Now let's talk about mobile optimization. Let's go ahead and optimize our website for mobile. Now, this is probably one of the most important parts of the video, because did you know that there are more mobile users than there are desktop users? So we want to make sure that our website is fully optimized for mobile. So let's go ahead and optimize our first homepage right here. So right here, I'm going to see how it looks like on a tablet. Do we need to make any changes to it? What do you think? Well, maybe this right here is a little too big. Maybe we can go ahead and change this section right here for mobile users. So under the heading text right here, I want to say, you know what? I think that this is a little too big. So right here on the tablets, we can reduce the size of this. So you see how I clicked on the tablets? Now it looks different. Now I'm not changing the actual website. I'm just changing how it looks like on tablet devices. Scrolling down right here. Now this section right here, there's a few options of what we can do. We can either reduce the size or we can hide it completely. So over here, under the design, we can go to settings and go to, let's see right here, where is the text size? Click on this and the tablet, and we can just reduce it, you know, maybe like 150 pixels. There we go. And scrolling down here, you guys tell me, how does this look? I think this looks great. I think this looks beautiful. Now this section right here, we might not need it, right? I mean, it's nice, but for a mobile user or a tablet user, it doesn't have the split screen effect. So what we can do here instead is decide to hide the image. So right here under module settings, I want to go to advanced and go to visibility and hide this on the tablet and the desktop. Now, I'm sorry, tablet and the phone. So what that means is basically saying that this module will not appear on mobile users and for tablet users. So they will not see that. This section right here, maybe we need to go ahead and change the divider right there, or I'm sorry, the divider, because it's just not working properly. You know, the divider is kind of arced a little differently, and I believe it's up here. Or it could be the blue section. So it is, I think it's the blue section. Yeah, the blue section. The blue section design, and then the dividers. And then for the bottom section, we might need to adjust this. So let's go ahead and take, like on the tablet right here, we can go ahead and kind of reduce it like that. So now it looks correct, right? Now it looks a little bit better. Now over here, again, same thing, but we have an option. You know, we can always just go ahead and disable this right here for, go to visibility. We can go ahead and just disable this for tablet and phone. So it really depends on how you want to approach your website, because you can either decide to reduce it, or we can go ahead and just disable that. So now, for instance, this will not display on mobile websites, or I'm sorry, on mobile devices. Sorry, it's like 4 a.m. You know, I'm out of coffee. It's gone. You know, it's all gone. So here we have our social media follow. Now right here, if we can change alignment to center, like that. But the problem with that is that this is actually going to affect how it looks like on the actual website. So we might want to just leave it like that, because I don't think that it's that big of a deal. But then again, you can go ahead and change it. But if you do change it, it's going to go ahead and disable that for, it's going to apply it to the entire website. So what you can do here is probably just disable or make this invisible on mobile and tablet users. Because, I mean, how many people are actually going to, well, actually, I don't know. That's actually a good idea. Maybe someone who's on Facebook might be on their phone and check your website and might go to your Facebook link. So that's kind of, you know, that's where kind of critical thinking comes in. So that's kind of up to you on how you want to approach the website. And then this is what it looks like right here on a mobile phone right here. Remember, this section is disabled. This section right here, we probably need to fix a little bit more. So we can go back over here and go to the design and go to dividers. And for the bottom divider, we want to select the phone right there. And we want to go ahead and see what we're doing. And there you go. So now that's what it looks like on a phone. Scrolling up here, I think that looks great. this services section, you'll need to adjust this as well. So we'll go to or just click on this right here. And then we can do phone and then reduce the phone size to like that. All right. I mean, it's very simple. It's very self-explanatory. It's very easy. Now, one thing I do want to note that if you do decide to add video sliders or video backgrounds do not play on mobile devices. So if you do decide to do that, you must have a background image to replace that, or else your users are going to see a gray screen. And that gray screen is just going to look very boring and bland. So remember, you can always add video backgrounds here. I believe they have URLs now as well, where you can just go ahead and put in URLs for YouTube or something like that. And you can just, put it in there. Now, you will need to go ahead and just upload your file right here, and then it'll display on the background. But I'm not a big fan of video backgrounds. I know when I was a beginner, I love video backgrounds, but people were like, hey man, this looks weird on my mobile, and hey, this looks weird on my website. Because remember, people are using different resolution screen sizes. So I feel that adding just a plain image or a color would be better. But if your client out there really wants video backgrounds, which I see a lot, then you'll have to do it like that, and then add in a background image, because remember, video will not play on mobile devices. So that's a little bit about mobile optimization. I'm sure that you guys can kind of go ahead and check that out. Let's click on the services page. Let's just see how it looks. Let's just take a wild guess. Let's just see how this all looks on our services page. So right here, I'm gonna go to tablet. All right, everything looks kind of good. All right, now check the mobile. And again, same thing. I think it looks great. I think this is totally perfect. It looks good. Everything's simple, everything's structured. So I think the mobile optimization section is pretty self-explanatory, but remember that you must do this for every page, because remember, also Google will rank you better if your site is mobile friendly. And trust me, man, they know everything. I don't know how, but Google knows everything. So you want to make sure that your site is fully optimized for mobile, okay? So now we talked about the modules, we talked about mobile optimization. Let's go ahead now and talk about the Divi advanced features that they have added in the theme. So I've already introduced you all to a few. I've introduced you all to the extend styles, which you right click on it. You can copy the section, you can paste the section, you can reset it, you can view modify styles, and then also the extend styles as well. Now the extend styles, you can actually, apply these to various parts of the website. So you just got to be a little bit careful, so, you can extend this call to action to all the call to actions on the page. But remember that it'll apply to whatever you want to do. So for example, right here, extend call to action styles. So remember this page, so it'll apply to it'll take this section and apply it to, or this style and apply it to all the call to actions, or this section, or just this row, or just this column. So this is a great way on how to speed up the process of your website in case you are, you have a lot of buttons on the website, or you have a lot of call to actions. You can just simply do this, and that will speed up the process dramatically. All right, so that is extend styles. Also, the copy section and the paste section, we already did that, where you can go ahead and copy a background right here, and you can go ahead and paste it on a different background, and it will basically display those settings on that specific style right there. All right, let me think here. What we got else? We have, think of all the features Divi has added a lot of features, and also guys, they're constantly adding in new features all the time. So, in fact, they just added this new one right here. And I'm not even sure on how to use it. They added it as of today. And I'm just kind of, go to a certain section, go to a row, go to this row. It's like kind of like a speeded up process. And they also have keystrokes. And I don't even know the keystrokes. So I know this is a Divi tutorial, but they add in so much stuff. It's really hard to keep up with, and it's really hard to master each one. But I'm sure, with, go to a module. Which module do we want to go to? We want to go to the title. Okay, wait. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, you got to kind of mess around with that, and you'll kind of, get the hang of it. And, all right. So, yeah, that's basically that little section right there. Now, there is one advanced feature that they added, and this is called dynamic content. Now, this is probably one of the biggest features they've added in a while, and I'll just go ahead and show you what this is. So, right here, we have module setting. Now, I'm sure you've noticed throughout this tutorial, you see this little icon right here. And this icon right here shows page title, excerpt, publish, etc., all this information. Now, the main purpose of this is to basically update your content dynamically. So, for example, this is great for car websites. It's great for websites like, let's say for instance you have a page and that page is going to look the same a lot. It'll basically change everything to like an automated system sort of. So for example, right here, I'll just put the I'll just do our services right here, and I'll change this to the page title. So now you can see that it's called page title. Now, of course, this is a terrible example, but let's say for instance that you're doing a car website and you want to have like a page template, and you want to have a specific template for every single page. That's when you would use dynamic content. Now, let me just give you a better example of dynamic content with a plugin that we're going to use called Advanced Custom Fields. So right here, we're going to go to Plugins and go to Add New, and we're going to type in something called Advanced Custom Fields. Now, many of you might not need this feature, but this is a Divi tutorial, so I have to cover everything, right? I can't leave anything out. Now, right here, this is Advanced Custom Fields, and the main purpose of this is to have custom fields, so for clients who are entering in information. So for example, you make a website for someone, right? And your client wants to update the prices. Well, they can go ahead and do that themselves without you having to intervene. So over here under custom fields, we're gonna go to field groups. Now, I already made one. I was messing around with one earlier, but I'm gonna go ahead and trash this one, and we're gonna make a new one from scratch. So I'm gonna go to Add New and go to Courses. Now, really quickly, you want to change this post type is equal to page. Make sure that's correct, all right? Now, right here we have courses. Well, what kind of courses? Well, I want a course that talks about, see course right here. We can talk about courses. We could do course number. We'll do course difficulty. And then right here, I'm going to do text area. Now, you can just watch me here. I know this is very new. This is a plugin. You have no idea what this is. But I'm just going to give you an example of this because I want you to understand. And then right here, I'll put place description here. This is for your client. All right. And I'm going to do one more. And I'm going to do course number. And then right here, we'll do a number. Okay. So we have our two fields. Now I want to click on publish. So right now I have course difficulty and course number. So let's go ahead and use these right now. So I'm gonna go over here to pages, and I already made a demo page right here. So this is my demo page. I'll just go ahead and show you really quickly. You actually get this layout for free with the Divi builder, or sorry, with the Divi theme. Right here, I'm gonna go to enable the visual builder, and right here we have, it's a course website. So right here we're offering basic courses on our website. Now let's say, for instance, that you want your client to be able to just, enter something in without having to even use the Divi builder. We're going to go ahead and do that. So maybe right here we can add something in right here. So I'm going to go over here to edit page. And right here we have course difficulty, right? So this is for advanced users. And then we have a course number. So let's say this is course number, I don't know, 16, all right? 16. I'm going to go ahead and update that now. Now I'm going to click on edit with the Divi builder. And right here, we have web development, right? Now also right here, we can say something like, you know what? I want this to be something like the course type instead. And it's just going to basically take the course type right there. And yeah, the course type. So I don't know why it says school though. Let me double check there, but I'm gonna go ahead and do one more right here. I'm gonna add one more text. Oh, maybe I should go ahead and let's go ahead and duplicate this. Oh, it's a call to action. Oh, it's a blurb. Oh, I thought there were two texts right there. So that's probably why. And also right here, I'll just do something like, we'll add in the other one right there. Course difficulty. This is for advanced users. That's the correct one. I don't know why that other one worked. So basically, the main purpose of this here is that you can actually set this right here to basically be your dynamic content. So the course difficulty will display right here. Whatever your client types in, it'll just display right here for them instead of them having to even use the Divi builder. And this is great because you can create page templates for them. Maybe there's a menu and they have different items and their prices change a lot. You can just say, yeah, just go just go in the back end and then just put the price, because when they put the price, it's going to change dynamically. So let's say, for instance, right here, your client says, oh, the price changed. You know, this is for beginners now. So this is for beginners. And they would just click on update. Now, that right there is going to display instead of the other part that we put. I don't know why it does that. That's kind of weird, you know? In the world of WordPress, weird stuff happens. Yeah, leave. I don't know. I want out. So now when I scroll down right there, it's going to say this is for beginners. So the content is changing dynamically. And of course, you can always style this to whatever you want. So a good example for this would be if your client has prices for something and the prices change all the time. Instead of actually opening the Divi builder and doing everything from scratch again, they can just go on the back end and then change whatever they want. So by doing this way, it's a little bit easier than having them even mess with the Divi builder. And that leads me to my next feature that I want to talk about is the Divi roles. So over here under Divi, we have the role editor. And this is basically saying for contributors, they have this access. For authors, they have all this access. You know, they can mess around with all these settings, right? For editor, they have all of these settings, right? Now, how do you make a user? How do you basically apply the Divi role editor? Well, over here under users, you'll click on add new. And this is great for clients. So for example, I'll put Paddywhack. You put their email in. So, and then, you know, you would give them a password and then they would be able to log into your website. Now, right here, you can set the role. So let's say this is your client and you're saying, okay, I want to give her contributor access. And then I'll just click on add new user. Now you can see that the contributor is now there. Now, if you go back to the Divi role over here, the role editor, you can go ahead and limit the contributor right here. So you're saying, look, I don't want them to have access to any of this stuff. They can move the items, they just can't do this stuff, you know? So by doing this, you're limiting your client, because trust me, if you're new in web design, your clients are going to try to do things and they're going to mess it up and then they're going to want you to fix it and they're not going to want to pay you. So that's really what happens in web design. So welcome to web design, you know, congratulations. Welcome to crazy clients. And here you can kind of limit the module use and say, I don't want them to use these specific modules, etc. Or even mess with these settings right there. Saying, no, I don't want them to use any of this stuff. So that is an example of the role editors and also dynamic content. And remember, Divi is constantly adding in new features all the time. So be sure to check out their websites. Go to their website and go to their blog section and just check it out, because they add so many features in, even I lose track. And you know, my job as a WordPress promoter, I talk about different themes and stuff, but Divi updates quite a lot. So to keep up with them can be very challenging. So that is an example of some of the features that you can do with Divi. So they're pretty straightforward. They're not too difficult. They're not too complicated. I felt that a lot of these features are needed. They do have some, like they have like one with the keyboard strokes. I don't know it, because I don't know. But there is one last one we need to talk about before I forget. There is the split testing. And this is a great feature that Divi has added that a lot of other page builders and themes cannot even think about. So for example, right here, we have this section right here. Now, I want to go ahead and say, you know what? I want to find out what's the best landing page. You know, I want to know which one's the best. But the problem is that I don't know, because how can I do that? Well, that's why we have split testing. So over here, we're going to go to split test. Click on OK. And we're going to click on this right here. All right, so now we have a split test. So what Divi has done basically is they have actually created two different versions of this website. So they've made one right here, and then they have the other right here. So you can see how this says 1 over here, and this says 2 right here. So for example, if you want to go ahead and edit one, you would click over here, and you have to edit it through this backend right here. Now, this is a duplicate of the same one that we made. They're just making two, and users will see different pages. So let's say, for instance, right here, you want to go ahead and use a different background. You're saying maybe the background is causing people not to use my service. So I'll go ahead and use this one right here. Maybe the button is not doing good. So I want to go ahead and say, contact me. And I'll click on save. So now your website is running two different versions it's running basically two different versions. So it's running the first one, and now it's running the second one. And if you ever want to see the statistics on them, you would just go to Visual Builder, click right here on statistics. And right here, it'll tell you the clicks, the reads, the bounces, and the goal engagement. So right here, you have reads. This is running a little slow. Come on, Divi. Come on. What's going on here? Maybe it's just because I just did it, but you know, it does show you bounces, read statistics, all that stuff. So let me just go ahead and close this really quickly, and let's do this. Now, I will also visit this website on a different browser to show you all what it can do. So let me just go ahead and open up a new browser, and we're gonna go to Paddywhack World. Paddywhackworld.com. All right, and then, you know, I'll just refresh the page a little bit. All right, so going back over here, you can see that the page is different for various websites. So you see over here how this right here looks like this, and this page right here looks like this right here, because it's running split tests to find out what users like the most, what do they want to engage in. And also look at the button right there. So it says contact me. And you'll notice there's no other landing page. So it's running an A/B split testing for us right now. So that's the great part about Divi, is that we can run A/B split testing right here from our website. Now let's go ahead and go to the Enable Visual Builder and see now if we can go ahead and access the statistics. So I'll go ahead and click on this right here. And there you go. So now it says like section 1 has this many impressions. Section 2 has 1 impression because we just checked it out, obviously. And right here we have the reads. We have the bounces. So bounces is basically saying if people are leaving the website right away. And then we have the goal engagements, and you know, you can just kind of compare goals. Now, once you're done with this, once you decide, okay, I've done it, you know, I know everything, you can click on, right-click right here and end the split test. Click on proceed. And now you can pick the winner. Now, right now, we don't have enough statistics. So right now it says 0% and 0%, but your section with more clicks and engagement will have a percent sign. So the one with the higher percent, you'd probably want to say, okay, you know what? This one's working out for me. We'll use this one, and then we'll just save it. Now, this one right here is your winner, and now this one is what's going to display on your website. So that's basically a quick rundown of split testing. It's a great feature. It's an amazing, powerful feature that you can use with the Divi Builder. All right, guys, in this section, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about global features and also the Divi blank page template and what you can do with it using the Divi Builder. Now, first off, let's talk about global features. So I'm going to scroll down right here and just give you an example of what global features are and what you can do with them. So right here, you can see that my icon is green. And the reason why it's green is because I actually made this a global feature. Basically saying when I change one thing on this footer, it's going to then apply it to all of the footers on my website. So I don't have to go to every single footer section and change it. So let me just go ahead and give you an example right here. I'm going to go ahead and disable the global. Now, for instance, for you, let's just say, for instance, this is your first time using the global feature. You would click on this little icon right here, and you would go click on make this a global item. Now, again, you can use this for different parts. Like you can make this a global feature, you can make this a global feature, but I find that most people use the global features for the custom footers. So right here, I'll go ahead and put in the custom footer. The custom footer. And click on save to library. And again, you can always disable global features just by right-clicking on it and clicking on disable global. But for right now, I'll click on save and just give you an example of the global footer. So right here, I'll click on plus new and click on page. And this will be, we'll just call it the footer page. Well, yeah, the footer page. There we go, the footer page. And I'll click on publish. I'll click on use the Divi Builder. Build from scratch. And I'll click this build on the front end. All right, and right here, I'll click on build from scratch. I'll just go ahead and just use a template. We'll just use a quick template right here. I'll just grab this one, and I'll use this layout right here. Just for an example, you know, you don't have to do this. I'm just kind of giving you an example. All right, so here's the page. Now on the way bottom right here, instead of using their custom footer, I'm gonna go ahead and delete this right here, and I'm going to insert my custom footer. So right here, I'll click on the plus icon, click on add from library, and now you can see that we have these green icons. Now earlier I was messing around with it, of course, but right here we just made the custom footer. So I'll click on this, And now this is the custom footer from the original page. Now, if I were to change a permalink, if I were to change a text, it's then going to apply it to all of the global features. So again, instead of actually having to go to each in specific every single page, you can just change it on one section. It'll apply for all of these sections where you have the global features enabled. So it does allow a lot of customization. It allows a lot of sped up time. So I highly recommend doing the global features if you decide to use a custom footer. So right here, I'll click on something like speed up. I'll click on save. Okay, now let's go ahead and go back to the original page and see if that has actually changed on our home page. So right there, I'll click on home. And now the footer should change to say something like speed up. And there you go. See, now it says speed up because it's applying it to all of the global features on our website. Pretty cool, right? Pretty amazing, pretty fast, right? So that is basically a quick rundown of the global features. Now let's talk to you about the Divi blank page templates. Now I do have a freebie for you all. I do have a free downloadable kit that you guys can download on my website where it has tons of really nice custom footers. Custom headers. So let me just go ahead and go over here and go to plus new and go to page. And right here we'll do the Divi blank or the Divi blank. And for templates, I'll select blank page and click on publish. So now we're using a blank page template. Now what the blank page template means is that we are actually not using any of the theme features anymore. So for instance, right here, we're not going to have the footer, we're not going to have the header that comes with the theme. We're going to have literally a blank page with nothing on it. So right here, click on build on the front end. Now you can go to my website right here, darrelwilson.com, and click on Divi layouts. And I give away tons of free stuff, man. Tons of free layouts, tons of free layout packs. And the one I want you to download is right here called the free Divi download, the Divi header UI kit. Now it's a free layout. It's not going to cost you anything. You'll just click on add to cart. And then right here, click on view the carts. And you'll get a zip file. And all you need to do is go ahead and download the zip file. And then you will go ahead and extract it and open up the JSON file. So right here you can see I'm placing the order. It costs us $0. I will place the order. And voila. See, I use the Bloom plugin right here from Elegant Themes. You guys can see. And I also use the Monarch plugin as well from Elegant Themes. So I use all of them on my website. So right here, I'll click on a download. So download Divi 100 header UI kit. You can see this file right here has downloaded. So I'm going to go ahead and take this and I'm going to drag it right here. Okay, now inside of that file right there, you're going to get this JSON file. So when I open it up right here, you're going to actually get the JSON file. And this is what you're going to use right here in order to upload to your Divi library. So go back over here. Actually, we'll go back over here and we'll probably exit out of this really quickly. We'll go ahead and exit out because we need to actually upload this to the Divi library first. So Divi library, and import and export. Import, choose the file, and they'll simply go ahead and put in the Divi header Divi kit JSON. There we go. A little bit of tongue twister. There we go. Import Divi builder layouts. Okay, so it is importing my header layouts that I've created. Now over here, I'll click on all pages, and I'll just click on. What are we doing? We did the. We'll just click on. We'll just do a new page. We'll go to new page because I made a bunch of pages earlier. I was kind of messing around with it. So right here, we'll do the blank page template. Oops. Template. There we go. The Divi blank page template. And right here, I'll click on blank page and click on publish. And then use the Divi builder. Build from scratch and build on the front end. Okay, so right here you can see that we have this blank page. Literally everything is blank, so there is no theme options right here. So what I'll do right here is I'll click on this plus icon, click on add from library. Or I'm sorry, they're in our library. So over here we'll click on this plus icon right here, go to your saved layouts, and now we can see the Divi header, the header Divi kit. We'll click on that right there. So that is the file that you downloaded from my website. So now you see we have all these cool headers. So all these right here are headers that you can use for your website. So let's say, for instance, I want to add a button. You know, let's say, for instance, I really like this one right here, this blue one. So I'll just go ahead and delete all these. So you just kind of grab the one you want. You know, just go ahead and you can pick one. You know, just go ahead and grab one. I'll grab this one right here, this blue one. I'll just go ahead and delete all these right here. And then you would just make your website like normally. So now you have a custom a custom header using the blank page templates. And I'll just go ahead and just give you an example of why you'd want to use it. So right here, well, that's a really bad example. We'll use this one right here. Oh no, we'll use this layout. So I'm just kind of giving you different options just in case you want to be very customizable and not use the default theme settings that you get with Divi. So now you can see that we have a custom header right here, and then we have our website right here. And then let's say, for instance, you want to add the global footer on the bottom. You can go ahead and do that by clicking on the plus, add from library, and add the custom footer. So by saving this page, now we have the global footer right there. We have our website. And then up top right here, we have a custom header that we made with the Divi builder. So I'm just kind of giving you all different options on what you can do with it. And it is responsive. So if you click on the little icon right there, you'll see that right here, they actually did blur it out because on a screen, it would be too hard to click the button. But you can see right there that it is totally responsive and it looks good. Now, just by looking at this, I hope you know what it is. So this right here is a text, a text, a text, a text, a text. And literally that's all we did. We just basically made text modules right here. We spaced them out. And then over here, we simply just added in a button module. So I hope you kind of understand how we achieved that. So there is just no limits on what you can do with Divi. It's extremely creative. I mean, you can have a custom everything. You know, you can make a custom sidebar. There's just so many different possibilities and features that you can do with the Divi theme. So in this section, I just wanted to cover that really quickly because I did leave that out in the tutorial. So that is a great example of what you can do with the custom footer, the blank page, and also the global features right here as well. Now let's go ahead and talk about other things right here. So let's talk about the Bloom plugin. Oops. Go ahead and put that back over here. Close this. You know, it does that sometimes. You know, we have to align these properly here. All right. So when you get Divi, you get the Bloom plugin, and the Bloom plugin is an email opt-in. It's great, it's powerful, and it's amazing. So go ahead and click on download, and we can go back over here to our website, and we can actually upload this plugin. So right here, we'll click on plugins. Now I'll just give you a quick rundown of what plugins are. Plugins are basically apps for your websites. Just like you have apps on your phone, plugins are apps for your website. So this one right here is a contact form. This one right here helps your SEO. This right here allows you to sell products on your website and take money. And if you're interested in that, I have a full tutorial on that in the description below. This one here is for WordPress security, for XML sitemaps, Google Analytics. I mean, there's over 56,000 plugins. So it's hard for me to tell you which ones to use. I just use a bunch of them. And this will duplicate your entire websites. Contact form. This is a caching plugin. This right here is a slider. This right here is a caching. This right here is a really old page builder no one uses no more. So, there are just a lot of plugins that you can do that give your website a lot of functionality. But over here, we'll click on Add New, Upload Plugin, choose the file, and we'll go ahead and download the Bloom plugin. All right. And activate the plugin. So I have Bloom right here. So Bloom over here, you have different opt-in forms. So right here we have opt-in forms, and you can select the new opt-in. And what kind do you want? Do you want a pop-up, a fly-in, below the post, etc.? So maybe you just want a pop-up right now. And right here is where you're going to enter in your information. So right here, we're going to go to MailChimp, just for instance. I'll add an account. And then this is where you're going to enter in your account name and your API for whatever email, whatever provider that you're using. I'm using MailChimp. So that's basically what I use. So I do have a full tutorial on MailChimp as well in the description below if you're interested in. So these are the templates that you can use. And just go ahead and grab a template, or you can make your own. And here you can actually preview it. And when your visitors go to your website, they're going to be brought with this pop-up right here. It's a beautiful pop-up. It looks great. And I'll go ahead and do the display settings. Here you can kind of decide the display settings. So how many delay seconds do you want this pop-up to show up? Well, 5 seconds. Do you want this to show at the bottom of the post? Trigger after scrolling. There's various options that you can use with this right here. And I just want to display this on the home page, just the home page, or a post, just the post. And then click on next and save and exit. So they've basically told me I haven't added an email list, and that's correct. And that's because you'll need to enter in your API and your username. So once you add that in, it'll link to your account and it'll pick it up. So going back over here to visit sites, let's see now if it displays. Usually for the first time it will display, but since we're an admin, it might not show up. No, okay. But it does work, it does work. So I'm just, it's probably because we're logged in and the cookies are enabled, etc. So, but I also want to show you what you can add it to a widgets. So over here we have widgets right here. Now going over here to widgets, now the Bloom plugin also acts as a widget. So remember earlier how we had the footer menu, how we have different widgets? We can go ahead and add in the Bloom plugin as a widget as well. So right here under Bloom, we'll add in this opt-in form. Now, of course, the opt-in form it's not completed yet because we haven't set up the correct API. So you'll need to set up your API with whatever server you're using or service. And it's supposed to display right here, but I believe it's because we don't have the API key. Tell you what, I'll just go ahead and grab it. I'll just go ahead and grab in the API key, and then we'll go ahead and use it there. So, alrighty, 15,000 subs, not bad. So I'll go over here and go to Bloom and just kind of I'll just go ahead and show you all. Email accounts, new account. We'll do MailChimp. And then I'll enter in my API key. And then I'll authorize it. And you'll know it works because once it works, it'll actually pick up your lists. So right here, you can see that it's picking up my lists. So now I know it's connected. So opt-in forms, we'll go ahead and click on this right here. And then I'll say, you know what? I want to select my username. And there you go. So now it's actually working and it's actually integrated correctly. So now the opt-in form actually works. And also we talked about the subscribe on the bottom of the page as well. So you'll also need to do the same thing right here for your subscription. So you'll need to go ahead and enter in your API for your MailChimp accounts. So for example, right here, it'll want your API information. And whenever someone enters something in, oh, my stuff's already connected because it works with Bloom. Right here, I'll just select this. And then I'll add it. It's asking me for my API key again, and I'll just go ahead and submit that right there. All right, and now whenever someone signs up to my email account, it's going to automatically go to my MailChimp account, and it's going to add all my subscribers right there. So that's what you also get with Divi. You get the Bloom plugin. It's a great email opt-in. It's beautiful. Let's go ahead and see if it works on the blog page now. We'll go ahead and check it out. We'll go ahead and let's see here. We'll go ahead and go to widgets. Now, before we actually configure Bloom to have an opt-in, we need to actually create one for the widget. So right here under Bloom, we'll go to opt-in forms and we'll click on new opt-in. And right here, we want a widget. So you want to select a widget, and this will actually make it so our widgets can actually be used for our opt-ins. So right here, I'll go ahead and select MailChimp, and I will go ahead and select my account. And I'll go ahead and select the list. So I'll just put Darrel's discounts, and then I'll click on save and exit. And there you go. Now, I could have chosen a design for it, obviously, but I just kind of covered that last time, so I don't want to go through it again and everything. So now let's go back over here and go to Appearance and click on Widgets, and simply click on the Bloom. And we'll go ahead and select our new opt-in that we made. So I should have titled it differently, obviously, because you don't want to confuse yourself. So I should have probably titled it, here, I'll just show you. Oh, we'll go back here, we'll rename it. So instead of this right here, we'll put widget. And then get a preview of it. And then we'll go ahead and click on save and exit. And now we'll go back over there, the proper way. And then I'll go ahead and select widgets and click on save. And then we'll go back over here and click on blog. And I'll check out my blog post, and voila, there you go. And of course, if someone types something in right here, for example, they want to go ahead and subscribe to your newsletter, they'll click on subscribe, and voila, it will go directly to my MailChimp list. Now there's also various other MailChimp, designs. I think there's one where locking content. Have you ever seen it where you go to a website and they kind of lock it and you have to subscribe to see the rest of the content? They have fly-in, they have all sorts of really cool stuff. So be sure to check out their other modes, okay? All right, so the next section we're gonna talk about templates. Yes, we love templates. Everybody loves templates. So right here, I'll go to plus new and click on page, and we'll talk about the templates that you get with the Divi theme as well. So right here, click on page. I'm gonna go to templates, click on publish, and use the Divi builder. Now, when you get Divi, you actually get access to tons of different templates as well. So right here, you click on choose a pre-made templates, and they have various templates that you can use. So let's say, for instance, right here, you want to use this layout. You can just click on, oh, this is a nice layout. It's beautiful. And the great part about Divi is that they add 2 layouts a week. So if you're watching this video in 3 months from now or 6 months from now, there's going to be a lot of layouts that you're going to get with the Divi theme. So right now it's importing the layouts. And remember, you must enter in your username and API in the settings to get this. So right here, you can kind of see that we have a layout. Everything is beautiful. Everything is done. It looks great. And remember, you can also take specific sections from Divi as well and say, you know what, I like this. I want to take this and put it on my website. You can do that. Just put in a footer, footer from layout. And then save it to the library. And now you can go ahead and use this on various parts of your website. So the possibilities with Divi is just, it's incredible. There's so much stuff you can do with it. The layouts are great. Now again, remember, to get those layouts, you must go to the theme options right here and go to updates, and you must enter in your username and API key right here. And you can get that by going into your Divi settings or your your Elegant Themes account. So that's basically a quick rundown of templates. The templates are great. I love them. I think they're amazing, So yeah, that's basically it with templates. Let me go ahead and I'll view this one more time, and we'll go ahead and enable the visual builder. I was working on something earlier. And then, choose a pre-made layouts. Let's check out another one, Let's just look at one more really quickly. We'll look at, they have a new one for gamers. I like that one. Divi Defenders. Let's use this layout. I want to see how this one looks. So here we go. We have a full functional website. It's beautiful and it looks great. Awesome. Awesome. All right, so that's basically a quick rundown of templates. And again, you can use, you just go to plus new, go to new page, and then add the every specific page to whatever you want. Now, also, I'm introducing you to wpfriends.com. Now, this is a social networking website for WordPress users, and you can actually get my layout for free if you use the code Divi100. All right, Divi100, you'll get access to this layout for free. Now, usually you have to get points for this layout, but you guys are watching this video and I want to go ahead and reward you all. And if you're watching this, use the code or use the coupon code Divi100 and you'll get this layout for free. And it's a beautiful layout that we made, and we have more coming. We have at least 3 or 4 more coming. So you can see that it's just a beautiful layout. It's professional, it looks great, it's amazing. And it comes with 5 pages. So it comes with the home, the about, the services, the latest news, and the contact us page. So it's a great layout. If you need like something to turbo boost your website, or you need help or inspiration, you can go ahead and use that coupon code. I'm just really thankful that you guys made it this far and you watched this tutorial. This is also another layout that we're making. It's another great one. And I don't know if I'll get this to you for free. I don't know, but we might. I'll think about it. Use the code Darrel or Divi100 and you can actually probably get this layout for free as well once we add it in. It's not up yet, but it'll be on WP Friends very soon. And let me go back here really quick. We'll go WP Friends. Here we go, WP Friends. So this website, again, it's just a social networking website for WordPress users that I specifically made. It has a little over 1,000 members, and you can see a lot of people engaging in it, talking about it, about all sorts of really cool stuff. You can also go ahead and join our forum. We have people asking questions on our forum as well. We also have groups. So if you want to go ahead and join one of our groups, you can go ahead and do that. Here you can talk about, SEO or freelancing or rate my websites, all these other groups that we have. We have a Divi Themes group as well, Slider Revolution, all these other groups. And also we have questions as well. So if you want to ask questions, you can go ahead and add questions and then we'll respond to it. And then you can get help right here on the websites. Now there is one last thing that I want to talk about. Now most of you have watched this video and you're kind of struggling on, okay, Darrel, I made the websites, what do I do now? How can I start my business? How can I get people to, how can I get clients? How can I, how can I get a system where people can actually purchase stuff and, start my full business? Because sure, you got the skill to make a website, but now what do? There's a lot of different ways you can go with this. And these guys are Tim Schreifler and David Blackman, and they actually made a business. They first started off as web designers, and later on, they actually opened up their own plugin and theme development company. They stopped making websites, and now they're teaching people on how to do it full time. So this is a great course. In fact, it's an 8-week course. It's a very long course because the amount of information that you get in it is crazy. And here they talk about, how Divi is the most popular theme in the world, why you should use it, how more than 30% of the internet uses WordPress. And these guys really know their stuff. And I've actually taken the course, and they talk about marketing. They talk about what you can do with it, what you can do with Divi, how you can pick up clients, and it's just the amount of knowledge that you get is just incredible. There's so much knowledge that they teach you. They're both there. You get a private call once you get the course. Now the course is, where is it at? Let's go ahead and go to join now. Now the course is $9.97. Now I do have a coupon code. So the coupon code is, I believe it is Darrel 10. And that will actually save you guys $100 off the course. Now I know that's a lot of money, but remember you also have a 14-day money back guarantee. And quite honestly, you might want to take this course because when you're doing web design, you're going to be like, I'll take $300 jobs, $400 jobs, $500 jobs. And that's the bad approach. You want to sell websites for $5,000 to $6,000. You have to respect your time. And a lot of people don't know that. And they just, they'll take any money they can get. And I'm saying, man, you're attracting the wrong audience. You don't want to attract people who want a website for $500. You want to attract people with big budgets, corporations, business owners saying, you know what, I'll give you something incredible. And you'll also provide value. You can provide a lot of value to your clients by saying, hey, I know how to make websites. I know how to do all this stuff. You charge them $5,000. I mean, the course is already paid for itself. So I highly recommend taking it. They don't have it. Obviously, they don't, have it on YouTube because it's an 8-week course. It's a very, very long course and it would not fit on YouTube. But these guys, they do have experience in the industry, and they first started out, they had a website right here called Aspen Groove Studios, and this is one of their websites right here. And again, they started off just like web designers, and now they're doing full Divi stuff. They're doing like memberships, they're making child themes, making plugins, they're doing courses like with CSS and everything. So I highly recommend it. So be sure to check out wpgears.com. The course really does pay for itself. I know it's a little expensive, but as long as you make one sale from that course for our clients, the course is already paid for itself. So that's why I really recommend it, because those guys really know what they're doing, and I only recommend the best because that's what I do. I recommend the best, in all my videos. So look, there's the Bloom plugin. So we can go ahead and enter in your PC order, or enter in the email, and then click on subscribe. So it's working now, guys. It's working, and that goes straight to my MailChimp account. So yeah, I don't know. It's just being really weird. I wasn't really sure why it was not working, but I don't know. That's a whole nother story. So again, guys, I hope everything was helpful. Make sure to check out wpfriends.com. You'll have access to the free layouts. Be sure to ask a question. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to put them in the comments below. I really hope this tutorial helped you all out. I know it's very exciting when you're making websites and you want to get clients, but make sure not to attract the wrong clients. And also, I hope this tutorial actually helped you all with design, because designing the core is everything in a website. People are truly buying positions on your content and how it looks. Look at apple.com. When you go to apple.com, you feel elegant. You feel like you're high class just by being on the website, and you want to go ahead and give people that same exact feeling when they visit your website. So I really hope this was helpful, guys. Make sure to like this video and subscribe. I have links in the comment, or links for other tutorials in the description below. I really truly wish you all the best. I know it's so exciting for me when I got started, and I really hope that you guys succeed and make a lot of money. I really truly hope you do. So again, my name is Darrel Wilson, and I will see you all in my next video. Take care, everybody.